So, Prof, firstly, nice to meet you in person. I've read quite a lot about you.
Thank you.
Of course, seen you in media quite a lot. I'm also honored to be here. I know we've flipped your entire office upside down.
No. This is home in Bazenga.
Yeah. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a good point to begin is there anything you've learned recently that you believe would be nice to discuss today?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. We live in a world where business and opportunities are spread across the world. Many of us have family in Uganda, business partners in Tanzania, friends studying in Rwanda, suppliers in Nigeria, or loved ones building lives in different parts of the world. And when someone needs support, you don't want the process of sending money to become part of the problem. That's exactly where Sendwave Wallet comes in. Sendwave Wallet allows you to hold, send, and receive money in digital dollars, a currency pegged one-to-one to the USD. You can quickly send money from Kenya to Tanzania, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, and across 111 countries worldwide. Whether you're helping a family member with an emergency, paying a business contact, supporting a student studying abroad, or simply sharing money with people you care about, Sendwave Wallet makes this process simple. You can fund your wallet directly using M-Pesa, send and receive money quickly across borders, enjoy fee-free wallet-to-wallet transfers, withdraw directly into your local currency, including into mobile in the currency of the country you are in. To enjoy all these plus more benefits, you should download Sendwave Wallet, create your account, fund your wallet with at least $10, use my promo code Chaxy, CHAXY, and you will get a $3 bonus. Also, with Refer a Friend, you can refer up to 5 friends using your own unique referral code, and when your friends sign up and fund their wallets with at least $10, you get a $3 bonus and they get a $3 bonus. Minimum $10 deposit is required. Terms and conditions apply. So, download Sendwave Wallet today and make sending money across Africa and around the world fast, simple, and accessible. Now back to the episode.
About the international economic change of international economic markets.
Okay.
Initially, we used to have international development schemes, which were spearheaded by the United States to develop Africa, which came in as NGOs, USAID, European Economic Community forums, aimed at developing Africa. And then when you see the surrogates of the same, like the East African Community, SADC, ECOWAS, they are reflective of the negative agenda, the pre-colonial tag, which was founded under the Bretton Woods institutions in 1947, when the Second World War had depleted the economy of Europe. The Europeans gathered around and they formed the World Bank, the IMF, GATT, General Agreement of Trade and Tariffs, and the objective was to develop themselves so that war would be prevented through economic dialogue. India became independent in 1947, and when they wanted India and later on Cuba to join, these two countries said, the agenda and the philosophy and the opinion and the initial rhythm of formation of these World Bank institutions was aimed at governing yourselves, liberating yourselves from economic disadvantages. We cannot join, but we shall become non-aligned. So through that process of non-alignment, which was spearheaded by Yugoslavia, the former Yugoslavia, China, and Russia, it became a new phenomenon, and that's why we had the Cold War. But coming back to your question, I'm now looking at the effect of those two in the aftermath of the Cold War, the ending of the Cold War. What can Africa do to reduce dependency ratio? Are we going to have the same mindset of leadership, which is generative, idealized on the Bretton Woods institution dependence theory? Or can we come back and look at what India and Tanzania did? by saying we are unaligned, we shall form a cooperative economic movement which will start from zero, which produced Ujamaa in Tanzania, socialism, where tribalism was the first thing that was eradicated. Tanzania is one. Sisi ni wa Tanzania. Mpaka 1964 when Zanzibar joined the union, so they removed from Tanganyika to Tanzania. And that's why you see the economy of Tanzania is really people-based from the ground, farming and agriculture, fishing, as opposed to tourism. Now in Kenya, to conclude, what are we doing and why are we in debt? What philosophies do we have? Do we still continue being guided by economic principles of the World Bank, IMF, WTO, World Trade Organization? Do we still become so oppressively subscribed to that mentality? Or do we shift our attention to the center? Look at ourselves and see what can we do and what have we learned? And that's why you see military coups in West Africa. West Africans have really fought to reinvent themselves in terms of economic development. It reached a point where the army said, enough is enough. And those coups in West Africa have transformed West Africa into a new pattern, following their patterns and following what happened, where military men switch back to uniform, and then the uniform men take over, like in Nigeria. And the solution has been Burkina Faso, which came in and said, we have had enough of the Cold War. We are moving to the east. And if you look at Burkina Faso today, the World Bank Index says that Burkina Faso on development says that Burkina Faso is the most rapidly growing country in the world. And it has replaced Hyderabad in India. So now, finally, where is Kenya in all this game plan? Are we still going to subscribe to the so-called Bill Gates and Akuja to interrupt with the indigenous farming by introducing scientific methods of cloning our animals so that we can start eating meat and taking milk that will result into obesity, so that we can now shift from economic dependence to health dependence, whereby pharmaceutical industries who have got their own agenda can now come in and say, okay, we have achieved what we fronted. Now people should permanently be enrolled to medication, like it happens in UK, US, whereby you eat certain foods like GMO, you grow a multitude of diseases, your animals have been cloned, your agricultural produce has also been cloned, and then you become an obese state, so that we depend now on medication instead of the economic blueprint that came from the West. Or we go the Burkina Faso way. We produce our own infrastructure. Kenya's infrastructure today depends on countries. Look at the roads, for example.
Yeah.
The highways that we have are death traps. Why can't we take and involve members of our armed forces, the engineering battalions, to till these roads, till new airports, so that we stop this matter of... So that's where I am.
On that. But then I've always assumed that Kenya is unaligned. Like we are not specifically aligned to anyone directly.
Kenya has always been aligned. It's only Tanzania in East Africa that was non-aligned.
Yeah.
And that's why they joined Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
And the Soviet Union plus China. Yes.
So who are we aligned to as Kenya? Because I assume you're aligned to whoever is willing to give money.
That's now the new order of the day. That's why you see Kenyan leaders now moving everywhere, looking for monies without proper planning, looking for monies without consulting the very people that they propose to lead without actually asking the people on how, putting policies which are people inclusive, that can make people from Turkana to say, well, we are nomadics, our life depends on herds, we also have a lake, we can chimba salt from our lakes and sell, instead of being taken into this new school system, CBC, which is flawed at the beginning, forcing Turkana to adapt something that they cannot convert themselves with.
Yeah. So then, there's definitely a couple of things to unpack there. I think when I was reading up on you as well, up today, when your name comes up, people definitely immediately go politics. Of course, your presidential bid, what they call fascinating manifestos, which we'll get into. But I was just wondering, like, what's the most important thing to you as a person that maybe we publicly don't know?
Issues.
Okay.
I've lived in Europe. I'm a law practitioner in the United Kingdom, where I went to almost 9 law schools. I'm also a practitioner in EU, European Court of Human Rights. I've gone to school in the United States. I've practiced in DC. I've taught in California. I've been a refugee. That's why I took refugee law to another level.
Okay.
All I'm interested in are Kenyans to change their mindset and set themselves to the standards that are found in Japan, Singapore, South Korea, that we can be industrial focused. We can change our education system, which is so much confusion. You go to school to learn about Lake Victoria and who discovered it. You go to learn about Mount Kenya and how tall it is. Whereas a Chinese student or a Japanese student is taught how to make toys, is taught how to do practical things, to be regenerated with independent entrepreneurship mindset. Look at Kenya. We intend to overhaul the entire education system so that kids can go to school from 9, come back by 4. And if possible, communitarize the schools within the community.
Yeah.
But then we intend also to talk to parents so that we have classes starting from 9 to 4, Monday, Friday. But here, the school syllabus overloads people. Find a small kid when you're driving in the morning with a backpack going to school.
Someone going to backpack, yeah.
Going to school. What are you trying to inculcate in this kid? Let the child sleep and wake up, have breakfast. The government will provide for that in special areas. Wacha mtoto aende shule kama his mind is ready. Now you're forcing a poor parent in Mumias or a Lego Songa to wake up very early, pack this kid, beat up this kid because the kid is still asleep. Wanapeleka shule. In Europe, it doesn't happen like that. Yeah. So we want to look at the mindset. How do we turn around? It is happening in Botswana very fast. It's also happening in Malawi. It is happening in Burkina Faso.
Duma is doing really well.
Yes. So I'm
a fan of Duma.
Hey, Duma is my man.
Really?
That is my man. He doesn't take any nonsense for what? And look at Botswana. They had, when the white people left or fled Botswana in 1966, in December 1966, they discovered diamonds. The whites, the Brits wanted them to come back. But look at what Duma said. Duma said, no, we legalize marijuana, hemp. Let's keep our diamonds in reserve. Let's do with what we have. And look at the economy of Botswana.
Yeah. Quite a sharp guy.
Yes.
Yeah. But then, so Prof, because you bring a lot of, I'll say, lived experience. Because on one side, a street kid in Kenya, a police officer, a refugee, an international lawyer, presidential aspirant.
Even a pimp.
A pimp.
I did pimping.
I don't want to get into that. But then, I think my fascination is where everything begins. Because you're also from the Wanga kingdom, right?
Well, the so-called kingdom, but I'm from the first house, Avamurono. Wanga had 5 children.
Okay.
Boys. So we are from the house that these are the houses looked at and said, so we were slaves within our own kingdom, but we were the firstborn, Avamurono.
Oh, wow. So this is with, this is before Nabongo now?
No, before Nabongo, when Wanga was still alive.
You were still, yeah.
Yeah.
So then you come from, say that name
the
again.
Firstborn, Avamurono.
Avamurono.
Yes.
Yeah. What was it?
Dr. Fueneke.
Oh, yeah, Dr. Fueneke as well?
Yeah.
Okay, from the same clan?
Yeah, the sister of Dr. Fueneke is one of the lawyers that I've employed here.
Okay.
The follower. Fueneke is my son, traditionally.
Yeah. Then what was it? So growing up, what would you hear about the kingdom? Because by the time you were born, I'm assuming it wasn't as strong as it was.
No, it was there, and their method of leadership is what has grounded them to what they are today. Those who professed in the kingdom never went to school. Some of them became what they became in the Mumias, and that's why Mumias is still flawed. You do not see development, because they believed so much into Obunabongo. We are the kings, you are the slaves. So that thing should be there for ceremonial purposes for those who mind about it. But those who, of course, it's our heritage. I'm a proud Wangan to have our Navongo come up. But then what can we learn from them apart from history? Yes, we'd like them to be there as a symbol of royalty. But my friend, Museveni alikataa hizi vitu.
Yeah.
We remain hapo na royalty yako. Ukule kivyako. We want a hard-working nation. Moving out from the conservative mindset, which was aligned to colonialism. Have colonial heritage. And that's why I like the kingdoms in Kikuyu land. They ganged up to fight. And that's why they liberated themselves. And that's why 90% of the economy in this country depends on the Mount Kenya region. So anybody is messing up with the economy, but is messing up with monies from Mount Kenya. But I wouldn't want to go in details.
Yeah. So then currently, if you went back to Mumias, what is left of this kingdom? Is there anything left of it?
The king, Peter Mumia III, who used to be an accountant in Kenya Bus Service. The wife, Lillian Mumia, was my teacher at City High School.
Okay.
She taught me. I was in the same class with the Ruben Dolo, former MP for Makadara. I was in the same class with the Ranalo, of Ranalo Restaurant. And I must admit, she was a very brilliant teacher. But the kingdom is just there. Who really cares?
It still exists.
It still exists. And I see most of the people who go there are from Raila's family. Recently, I saw Raila Uburu's son going there to see the king. That's okay, because the Railas came from there anyway. I saw my sister Ruth Odinga going there. The only problem that is bedeviling that kingdom is when they took Nabongo Mumia's remains to be reburied at where they are. The Mumia Sugar Company through Kidero was involved in laying that foundation, and that's why we have the curse. Because when it comes to entombment, our people, our special traditions must be followed, and they don't involve foreigners to come in to partake. So that's for them to resolve.
There's a certain way that it should have been done.
Yes.
Okay. But so maybe the other paradox would be, because also the Wanga kingdom were largely collaborators with the British.
Yeah, they were actually, can I say collaborators? Or, collaborators is a good word.
Yeah,
they were traitors.
They were traitors.
Yes, yes.
They were traitors. Then, so I'd expect that maybe they would have received a bit more development just because they aided the white man in colonizing the fellow Africans. But then, like you're saying, there's barely anything to show
There's nothing.
of being collaborators.
It's just a scrap. They expect me, Wajackoyah, to go and kneel before them. I will not. Sorry. But if it's a matter of friendship, I can go and see Peter, I talk to him, see Mama, and that's how far it goes. Yes.
But also the government doesn't really recognize kingdoms in Kenya anymore.
Well, the government could have done it well to recognize them, but then also give them the royal appendages in society, which is okay.
Like in Uganda, they do have that. Recognition is still there.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they probably are facing themselves out because their children, the children from the kingdoms have like, I want to go and learn about internet. I want to drive a nice car. I want to go out with the people of my choice. So people have made choices.
Yeah.
So the question is, who will inherit? Who will become again? The old adage is done.
So how do you come from this to being a street kid?
Mimi kwa mangatu. Unaona tule nakaa. Mimi kwa mamembo. Mzee alikuwa mtamu. My father, I think he was very handsome. I'm not. So he attracted a lot of wives. Yeah, everyone wanted to be his wife. So my mother is like, hey. But
hardworking guy? Your dad?
No, my father was just something. In fact, when he died recently, we just buried him and said, don't wake up because he will come to make us see what we've been doing.
Because I'd expect, even traditionally, African men who are polygamous, who are polygamous because they were responsible and they could take care of these families, So there had to be like a level of responsibility that came with having a big family. So if your dad back in those days had many wives,
my
and he was just a handsome guy, that's all he was bringing to the table.
And he had a trademark which women liked. I don't know. I can't say it on the knee. So every woman who went with my dad never wanted to leave. And my dad was illiterate. But then one thing my dad did was he safeguarded our interests. So when my mother was divorced, then the other mothers, of course, with the jealousness. So my problem started, but I was like, I'm not following this and that. So I remember one time when I was herding cattle for my grandpa, when I was living with my grandpa.
This is Mumias now?
Yes. A python howled on me and I did what it did. I still have the marks of the python.
Oh my God, I can see that.
Yeah. And then I was rescued. Even I have marks here when it was putting its tongue after the blood was coming out. So they uncoiled it. I don't know how they did. I think they brought, somebody must have brought in some smoke, which it was allergic. So it uncoiled. And I was very sick for a very, very long time. Then secondly, again.
How old were you?
I think I was 11 or 12.
Oh my goodness.
Then again, I was hit by lightning. I don't know how I joined the police without them observing this. And 2 women died on the spot. So my life has been a freak of a lot of things.
You've lived many lives.
Yeah. I had gone to a market. It was raining heavily in the Buhui or Galo market. And it rained. Then thunder struck. The mama had gone to take porridge from her kiosk when I was in Buhui Primary School. Was struck. I didn't know how it happened. I became deaf for a long time. And I couldn't also speak because of the smoke. So they gave me traditional medicine, which was human feces. So that,
from who?
From my younger stepbrother, so that it could do away with the smoke. That smell is very botanic. How do we call it?
Smoke. So this is the smoke, not from the python incident, from the thunder.
From the thunder, yes. Then I had to go this traditional surgery, where they had to remove some tongue, lung, cut off some lung, put it in porridge for me to drink, and I've survived.
Do you know anyone else who's been stricken by lightning? I don't know anyone. You're the first person I've ever that I know in person now.
And I've gone to see the grave of Mama. The people at Ogalo Market who are still alive will subscribe that Opetu's wife was killed, and Wajackoyah was in that place, and he survived. She died, and 4 more people who were with me. So I survived that one. It made me very strong.
And this is after surviving a python?
Yes. And my family had excommunicated me because they thought my mother was a witch. So instead of me going to Intangalasia Primary School, which was just next door, they took me to Buhui Primary School, which was 8 miles. So I could wake up, do the necessary as a little kid, then go to Buhui.
You'd walk.
And then I would walk back. So during lunchtime, I didn't have anything. But this mama used to give me porridge because she knew my mom. They grew together. They grew up together in Samia. So she's like, my son, Mwanangi. So that's how things started. Before now, I ended up being a chokora in Nairobi. Yeah.
Would that be like one of the lowest points in your life? Being in the streets?
The street life is another mountain to climb. Things reached the point when I was so low, I didn't know what to do. Nobody wants to listen to me. This is a curse. He has been bitten by python. He has been bitten by thunder. He has refused to die. I think the witches of the mother remained in him. So with that, I started walking from home up to Busia. I was going towards Uganda, searching for where my relatives to show me where my mom is, because I heard she was in Kampala. So when I reached Busia, my father was working there. I'd run away without him knowing. He wanted to return me back, but then he said, no, I'll take you to Busia Township Primary School. You wouldn't go anywhere. But when I went to primary school, things became very, very tough. Then there was this coastal hauliers, hizi matanka za petroli, za kwenda mpaka Bujumbura. There was, they used to have a depot where they could be. So I used to play around that depot. So this Somali guy comes and says, kijana nataka nini? Sema nataka kazi. Then that's why I went into that tanker. He took me, brought me to Nairobi. It was the longest journey. And that was the first time I entered a vehicle. I was feeling like God. So I used to be like,
You've never been in a car up
I might have been when I was small.
But you don't remember.
But now it's normal. I could see trees running.
Yeah, when the car is moving, and as a kid, you assume the trees are moving as well.
Yes, angalia hiyo miti inaenda. Nairobi. Kufika hapa tukaenda kwake in Kaloleni. But the guy was homosexual. He used to sodomize little kids. So hiyo siku nilikuwa nyama yake. So sasa aliniacha hapo, mimi nakaa hapo, kuna zile radio za Sanyo.
The older ones.
Ameweka nini. Sasa kwenda, I think he went to buy milk in a kiosk. Jogoo Road haikuwa na lami wakati hiyo.
Okay.
Alienda kurudi kagongwa na gari akakufa hapo. So that's when now I became a street kid. Nimekaa kila mtaa, nilianzia Kangemi, nikaenda wapi, nikawa na gang.
How old were you by the time you come with this guy in Nairobi? 16?
15, 16 going.
Okay.
Yeah. So hapo...
Then how did you find out he was hit and...
Yeah, people came in the house and I ran away. Mawaria walikuja hapo wengi. And it's when I realized that Warias don't cry. Walikuwa tu, na mimi sikujua amekufa. Nilikuja tu kujua, wewe nataka nini? Toka hapa. You know, they thought I had invaded. So I left.
Okay.
Yeah, so I went, stayed in the streets, went to Kangemi, went to I didn't go to Kibera, it was Kangemi mostly. I grew up in Kangemi. Then I became friendly with Dr. Liki. Dr. Liki was then the director of...
Well, you became friends with him and as you were still in the streets?
Yeah, when I used to see his Volvo, 244L. Nice blue Volvo. They had just come, so I could run away, Liki. Then eventually, him, through other people, took me to Kenyan College. Then in Kenyan College, I still continued. From Kenyan College, I used to live at Odeon Cinema hapo, chini hapo. Najua, hii Nairobi nimeona ikigrow.
Yeah.
Na ukienda Grogon, where now I grew up in Grogon, the people who make vehicles, our mechanical wote wapale.
Yeah.
Either the owners, because hawa ni watoto wao, the owners were either with me and they knew me. So I joined Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. They took me from Majengo. They came singing Sankirtan. That's why you can see I'm a devotee of Krishna, Hare Krishna. And I stayed in the temple for so many years. Then Mr. Sharma Ramlal changed me from Kenyan College to City High School, his school. Then JJ Kamodo, Nathan Kahara, the late Njiru, former assistant minister for health. They used to drink somewhere and I could go there. So they used to call me, Kamwana. Now JJ now paid for my fees from 5 and 6. Wow. But during that time, I went through hell. No relative of mine wanted me.
Yeah. Did they know where you were or you have no idea?
Say?
Did they know where you were?
Yeah, I had aunties, I had uncles.
But did they know you were in Nairobi?
Yes.
Okay.
But when I stormed in one of my auntie's house in Dagoretti Corner, whose husband used to work with the city council, nilikuwa nimevaa Hare Krishna, nilifukuzwa. Yeah, because to them, Hare Krishna was demonic. It was a devil worship kind of, who were worshipping cows. So the philosophy I read in Hare Krishna, and that's why you see there's a Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that here.
I've read that book inside out. I became the youngest devotee to be initiated by the founder, the late Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So that in itself is the philosophy I grew in. The philosophy Mandela grew in. You can Google. Mandela was also Hare Krishna. Steve Jobs, I met him in Silicon Valley in California when now I started practicing. The Beatles in UK even gave them their recording studio to be a temple, which is there. So I grew up in that fraternity. And later on, I went into so many fraternities. I went into Scientology. I'm also a Scientologist.
You are a Scientologist?
Yes.
Okay, I'd love to discuss that at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also I'm in various ganja groups.
Okay.
In Jamaica.
I see what you're wearing.
Yes.
I showed you my ring as well.
Yeah, my man, yeah. And you know, with we ganja people, though I don't smoke myself.
I also don't smoke.
Yeah. But the philosophy of ganja and the economics that are coming in is what people now started saying, we know wazimu, nini. But look at those books, my friend. If you are more learned than somebody who is abusing you, do you need to have any discussion with him?
Because now all of you look like fools.
Yeah, you walk away. Like somebody recently abused me on Jeff. Na huyu mtu nimemuona. Niko hata na evidence. Nililipia father-in-law. When the father-in-law died here, the guy called me to assist with the funerals. I did what I did. He thanked me again, sent me a thank you note. So people like those ones, what do you do? And I don't really discuss people. When you come to Roots Party, I'll tell you that. You look at them and you apply the Machiavelli, the principles, the Gandhian principles, and you look at them and you move away.
Yeah. So, because your life is intriguing. Are there maybe specific things from the streets that you'll never forget, that you remember up to date, that maybe would be...
Yeah, I think as much as I'm educated, I don't really like that part of that education because it's Western kind of ideologies. The specific thing I like is being free with the people on the streets. Nikiingia tu matiri moja hapa, nikienda town. Hao watu siku hiyo wanafanya business mingi sana. Yani, I love the way the street life carries me forward. I can go to Kikomba, the whole market stops. Anytime I go anywhere, and we can go with you anywhere today, everybody stops. So I'm like, what did I do? It's because people are missing something.
Yeah.
Mimi, siko kwa hiyo magroup sijui, one term, two term.
Yeah.
They're same people, same forest, but they're just trying to change. So mimi niko na issues zenye zinaegemea hawa jamaa wa chini hapo.
Yeah.
And that's why we're relating very well with you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What does ideally, what for someone who doesn't know what Hare Krishna is, how would you describe what Hare Krishna is?
Very good. Hare Krishna is a philosophy of reincarnation. It's a philosophy that teaches you how to behave. For example, when I joined, I stopped eating meat because they don't eat meat. They say cows are sacred. They are mothers. When a mother dies giving birth, that baby will be fed on milk. When a mother dies while giving birth, the cow dung will be used to create a house and fire to cook food for the child. So why eat something that God has created for purposes of anointing? Number two, in Hare Krishna, you are taught not to smoke or eat anything that has got alkali or alcohol in it. Number three, no beef, not eating things from living, because these are creatures created by God. But they teach you about you, your life, and what you are going to be in future. Morality in Hare Krishna is what shapes me to have this mindset. You live in a free world. They teach you how not to be abusive to anybody. Action, reaction. Your actions depends on how their reactions on you will be. So if you want to flit around, you drive a big Mercedes and you have a big house, nothing wrong with that, without taking your identity into consideration and other people's interests. You look down on other human beings because you have gone into material possessions, material world. You want now to be like God. Distribute your wealth like Gandhi. Yesterday, I went to see a friend of mine, Mr. Sachnan. He's a member of Hare Krishna. Then he took me down there to eat something. And then it was a Hare Krishna vegetarian restaurant. And then these guys who sell simu, hawkers.
Yeah.
Mmoja aliniona akasema, Professor, naweza tu kusalamia?
Just say hello.
Yeah, nikasema, yes, come in. Then waiters walienda kwa no, usiingie hapo. Nikasema, excuse me. Mimi ndio nimemuita. Si nilikuwa na plate hapo.
Yeah, you've ordered.
Tukiongea, sasa nikachukua tissue ilikuwa hapo. Nikachukua 3/4 of this, nikaweka hivyo. Nikafanya hivyo, nikamwambia, thank you. The man went away with happiness. He said, I'm not eating this, I'm taking to my children at home. They have not eaten. So I asked my friend, Sachin, now what do we do in this case? Then I took the little coins I had in the pocket and called him back. And then I also gave him my number. What I realized later on is that this guy is a university graduate. He has walked into offices. He became a hawker. So I've hooked him up to come and see me next week. Then I can talk to my friends in the industrial area to give him a job. Those are the kind of people that Hare Krishna religion teaches you to align yourself with. Ukienda mahali mama meza, like I went to Pangani police station. I'd borrowed a VW of my friends a while back to see the OCS. So nilipofika station, report office, Nikaona watu ni wengi, lakini kuna mama alikuwa amekapo amebeba
A small kid.
Yeah, no, ilikuwa imefunikwa. Lakini inzi, flies were just like. Then I was told the OCS is not in, ameenda mahali. So I came back at 11:30 again. Nikaingia. Sasa inzi zilikuwa too much. Nikauliza report office, what's happening? Atuyo mama ametuletea maiti. What do you mean? Alienda Pumwani kuzaa na alizalia nje kabla hajafika hospitali. So they have refused to take the body.
Oh my goodness.
So they asked her to come to
The police station.
I said, it's fine. So what is going on? Ati hakuna lori. Lori imeenda wapi? Ati lori imeenda kufanya kazi Huruma sijui wapi. So I looked at that woman. I told the report office, is it possible to give me a police officer to accompany me? I will provide the means. Mama akasema ndio. Akasema, akaandika OB. Kaita huyo police woman. She was a police woman. Sasa kwenda kwa gari ilikuwa ni Volkswagen. Ya one door, this way, one door.
Yeah.
So now what was happening is that I had to bend over the seat for the woman with her dead body to come at the back.
Yeah.
Ndio nikae na huyo officer. But then the officer was so frightened. Nikasema pana, officer, we nenda nyuma, wacha huyu mama kaa hapa. Tukaenda paka city mortuary. Then they booked the baby.
Yeah.
And then they left the woman. So my question was, this woman has been in that police station for how long, which I had not asked because I found her there. That's number one. Number two, how is she going to go home? And number three, what does she need? Is it counseling? Hospital? So I had again to take her to Kenyatta Hospital.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't have money, but I left her there. I never followed that case. And that's the greatest disappointment I've lived with. Had I known, I could have been there to the end. Lakini nilimwacha huko. So
you did what you could.
Yeah, so that's what Hare Krishna associates you with, doing deeds. Mwingine Busia juzi, in fact that was on social media on Tuko. I was driving from Sega to Busia. Jamaa moja na pikipiki, alikuwa na pikipiki na bibi na hivi. Akahut, oh professor, nikasimama. Sasa he came na kaacha bibi amekaa kwa pikipiki na mtoto. Nikamuuliza, mbona umeweka mama sigari itamgonga? Ati hapana, that's my wife. I've just taken her from the maternity hospital. I'm taking her to Bumala. I'm like, lete yo mama ingia kwa gari.
Yeah.
Chukua hii pesa utaweka mafuta ukifika mbele. Tufuate mpaka Bumala. Bumala wapi? Akatuambia. That kid was now named after Wajackoyah.
Oh, wow.
And is now a very healthy baby. So that is from Hare Krishna.
Okay.
I'm not bragging. There are so many things that I've learned from that religion. Learn to be you. You. What are you and what are your values? That's why I differ from this political leadership. Ukienda pale kwanza unasukumwa na mabodyguard. Na ukienda Burkina Faso, the president, Traore, ile jeep alikuwa nayo wakati alichukua power. It's the same jeep that man has today. With the two bodyguards. A driver and another bodyguard. Hapa, an MC yako na bodyguards wangapi? Governor saizi. But anakimbia watu.
A whole motorcade
kupigia watu makelele kwa barabara. Juzi, one was driving on the wrong side of the nina hizo mataa. I stood. That's why I like Mwangi.
Boniface Mwangi.
Yeah. I stood and I wanted to know where this character was going. Why was he forcing other road users who are taxpayers? What specialty does this mentality have? Look at them politicians who are my colleagues. Akienda mahali ni magari sijui ngapi. Akitoka huko watu wanamuimbia. Kwa marali zangu ni za mamen. Ukiona kakitu kamoto ukitaka kuchoma. Bora usishikwe. Kwani iko nini? Kula vitu zako. Yeah, mamen, yeah. Because when I become the president, I'll legalize. But it's not for smoke. It's for economic development. But smoke, wherever. So that culture is what has made me to fold my hands. Na nikasema no. Hata nikiona wanitaki. It's only Raila who liked me.
Yeah.
Because Raila knew me. He stayed in my house in London. I was a food tester to his father. Like in these fellows, unless they change their mentality.
Yeah.
And I'm yet to see. I'm just going to be no term. Watu kama nyinyi na vijana. Tuendelee, tuone vile
what we can do.
We can do. Yeah. Kama kutakuwa na besti fulani ambaye atachukua ma philosophy, tunamuunga mkono anakuwa president. It's not a must that I have to be anyway.
Yeah.
Kenya will still live on.
So then, spiritually, that's what you still practice?
Yes, I mean, in that I've visited 114 temples. And I hold a very high-ranking position in Hare Krishna. Kama ingekuwa bishop, kwa Catholic, I think I could be an archbishop.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means you lead services and...
Yeah, I do what you call puja.
Okay.
And I wish I could have shown you those things here if they can be brought here. But it's okay. I do puja. I go to the temple. I've got my special room in the temple. Most of my lunch I take from the temple, except for security reasons, because of developing that pattern. Those in the know will know that at this time, anakujanga hava na
yes. Yeah.
But temple is where I normally spend my time. You'll never see me in a bar unless nakuja kufanya nini? Kupiga makelele pale. I used to go to a place known as Cedars.
I know Cedars.
I came there and what I saw...
Down on Lelana Road?
Yes. Watu wanakuja hapo, kila mtu iko na Mercedes. They want to compress the place, ndio waonekane wako nayo. Alafu mtu anaenda pale, ni mdosi, tumbo ndio hiyo, na hii t-shirt tu yenye wanashonanga tunashika hivi. Alafu anakunywa whisky, katoto kamoja sijui ni 540. Unaingia pale saa 2, utoke saa 5 wakifunga, uende nyumbani, watoto wamelala, bibi amelala, ulale mpaka na watoto waamshwe asubuhi kwenda shule. Uko pale because umetoka pale. You are going to be born into a dog. That's what Hare Krishna says. Because one, you don't have time for your wife, except for the concubines. Wale vijana makucha mrefu unakutanga pale, wengine wanakupatia hiyo kitu nakunywa, na kupiga simu anataka do. It's a business which I'm going to encourage anyway on fools to pay those who would not have money.
Yeah.
And secondly, you don't have time with your children. The kids will never see their father. They become used to their mother. And family value is very important. That's why I'm saying that schools will start at 9, end at 4, Monday to Friday. Ndio hao watoto wakae nyumbani, baba zao waone wako hapo.
Yeah.
It's part of mentoring. And wanakula nyama hapo, na kuitishia. You go there and do your empirical research and write a PhD from there. You find that those people eat the best food. They spend so much, but in their family, mama labda akuli hata mboga nini nyama. Mama. And I'm looking at that and thank God to the Hare Krishna philosophy. Don't do what you expect to be. You become too much meat eater. You become serial womanizer. Unafanya vitu zingine. You'll be born into that. That's what the philosophy said. If you act like a pig, you'll be a pig when you are born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then how did you get into Scientology? Because there's a lot of documentaries and a lot of actually published documentation that, kind of alludes Scientology as a cult.
Well, even Hare Krishna is a cult, right? That's what they say. Catholicism is a cult. That's what they say. Any religion that comes up with a philosophy that many people don't agree with, it becomes a cult. But what's wrong with a cult anyway? What is a cult? If we may go into it.
I mean...
so it depends on how people define it.
Yes.
So utakuta people with very low-scale mindset. Ndio watasema, hiyo ni cult. People who like talking about others. When Mandela was in prison, he met a devotee of Krishna, a man who had actually encountered Krishna consciousness. And he converted him. Mandela saw it, and you can Google as we speak.
Yeah.
Mandela saw it as a philosophy. Just Google it and you can show the picture, whichever. And he came out the second day after his release, he went to the temple. And he asked for the Bhagavad Gita. Can you compare? The people say it's a cult. So Scientology is a Dianetic theory, which was started by Mike Hubbard. He looked at things and said, how do we heal in science? And he developed a theory that most Americans agreed with. That's why you find most of the movie stars in Hollywood are members of Scientology. So when I was teaching in Southern California, and when I interacted with my wife's people, my wife is an American, she introduced me to a lot of these people. And I went to Scientology. The day I went into Scientology, we went for training. Guess who was there? Louis Farrakhan's people, the Nation of Islam. Buddhists from China. Christians, bishops, Roman Catholic priests from around the world. They were there training about Dianetic theory. So it's a theory which has got its own mindset, whereby when you leave, how do you go to preach what you have been preaching? How do you look at it? And I remember when I later met Louis Farrakhan. He told me, oh man, you've been there, my man. I said, yeah, now you are blessed, my man. You can rule the world because you get your philosophy from those people. The Dianetic theory is one of the best mechanisms of human development. And that's what inculcated into me.
Yeah.
So even if I go to court, I don't look or I don't argue like what the diasporian kind of English mindset is. My arguments are very unique, and that's how I win my cases. For example, recently, there was the outlawed Nation of Islam. Yes, Watangareni case. You remember?
Yes, Watangareni, yes.
When some people came up and started now condemning this man, huyu mtu anajiita Yesu, lazima hukumiwe. So I remember Didmas Baraza, a whole MP, calling in the CID to arrest this man. The man was arrested for money laundering. So me and Eugene Wamalwa, by that time we were still with Raila in Azimio. So I told Eugene, if this man was a Kikuyu, how do you think Kikuyus would have related to? If he was a Luo, how do you think Luos would have related to? Now we are here and this man is here. Can't we go and represent him? And I left myself with my own money, took an aircraft, bought a ticket, went to Kisumu, hired a Prado, went to Bungoma, went and I saw this man. And I said, I've come, my name is Wajackoyah, ile wabangi kichwamba, nimekuja kurepresent we. Akacheka na akasema sasa, utarepresent mimi na lawyer wangu anatoka kwa Nyota. Ni wewe umetumwa. Akasema sijui. So I went to court and I asked one question on PO, preliminary objection. I asked the court just to do one thing. If this man is not Jesus,
prove he's not Jesus.
Produce one. That was all, and I sat down. So the magistrate, the prosecutor had nothing to say, the state counsel. Then he adjourned in the evening. So he came in, and the state counsel was asked, have you found the real Jesus? I said, no.
Show me the real Jesus.
Yeah. Then they released the man. But had I gone through these methodologies, ya kupiga story ndio upate pesa kwa client, sijui yaona at John, sijui. I have a system in me. And that's why I don't want to brag, but with the philosophy I have, I've never lost a case. And I can count on those
cases. Not even one single case.
Both in Europe, in America, and in this country. And I can count them. The cases have been involved.
Can you talk about some of maybe high profile?
Linturi's case. Linturi. We won, me and Dr. Tiungulu, who was my schoolmate in Warwick University. Thank God he's now senior counsel. Akasha's case in Mombasa was another one.
You're the one who represented the Akashas?
Yes, the Okinawamaris have been on that case.
Yes.
So when I went in with Leila Latif, we discovered a lot of things in my research. And I like talking about it because when I'm teaching, even in the US, it is the case that comes in extradition issues. So Cliff from Beta was there.
And not Cliff was involved for sure.
Yes, involved for a long time. Senior counsel Wandungi, a very excellent lawyer. If I was to be arrested today,
that's
police,
Wandungi,
come for me. Then I discovered something. I went and did research at night. And my research is whether Kenya had an extradition treaty with the United States. Then there was the 1894 treaty between British East Africa and the US for extradition. I said Kenya was not there. There was the 1947, the Commonwealth Extradition Treaty. Kenya was not independent. Then Kenya became independent in 1960-61. 63. Then the late Dr. Njoroge Mugai, who was a Minister of Foreign Affairs, signed an agreement with the US ambassador on extradition. The agreement was live.
What does it say? That you can extradite?
Extradite. But my further research revealed that agreement was not ratified in Parliament. And I drew the line there. I said, So I told Leila, how do we go about it? Because when you go to court, or we show these other councils, it's a later friction. So the lead counsels will speak. Let's just go to court. So we went to court. They talked. Then the judge made a mistake and said, and counsel, do you have anything to say? I said, yeah. So mi nikasema, Your Honor, we have been doing a lot of wastage, taxpayers' money, people's time on this case. Nikaona watu wamechemuka, and Americans were there with the CIA agents, what have you, and the media. Then nikasema, Kenya has never had an extradition treaty with the United States. So you are wronging. So the charge sheet is out flawed. You have brought, you have been involved in an exercise which is futile. Then I took their documents and I handed off. So court ilinyamaza for how long? Sasa, it was so tense that I had to find out how to escape. Because I had stepped on some people's toes. People have been eating on that case
for many years.
For many years. Now, Danganya hapa na pale. The Danganya kind of system. Like Danganya Land Buying Company. You go to buy land, na hapo kibao ameandika Danganya Land Buying. Now you went to school, unanua land bila the title deal fake. So we left, me and Leila, and then we disappeared. We could have been shot. And that's why the prosecution withdrew the case, and these fellows were put on the plane to America. Did I succeed or I didn't succeed?
My question is...
Then there are other cases, like I've also represented various MPs, like Oscar Sudi's papers. Mimi nilikuwa kwa hiyo case for almost 10 years. Yeah. And I found out that actually Oscar Sudi was not guilty. Na ikaisha hivyo.
So then, when you go into cases like the Akasha brothers, for instance, so as I know for sure, as a lawyer, your work is to represent your clients. So this is the only place where now you put your morals aside. Yeah,
because with the laws you have to represent somebody until he's proved guilty. The issue of morality does not arise.
So if you know after doing your research that your client actually even murdered someone,
procedure.
So you didn't bring it up?
No, the issue is procedure. Most lawyers want to make money and get out. That's why we have so many lawyers doing crook jobs. And the Kenyan legal system should be changed. Because you get a guy who has just finished Kenya School of Law and end up practice tomorrow. In Britain, you have to carry a briefcase of induction for 3 years. If you have to be a solicitor, it's 2 years. For you to have a right of audience in court. In the US, you have to do another degree. Then you go to do Doctor of Juris, where you do a 4-year practical course on how to be a lawyer, the interrelationship between you as a defense counsel, if you are defending, your client, the jury, and the judge, and the procedure. So when you come back, you come out, you take the bar exam, you pass it, you are already trained and matriculated. But somebody from Kenya School of Law, or you go to some of these lawyers' offices, and they're my colleagues, utakuta mtu anafanya kila siku. Kwanza files, namna hii, disorderly. Why can't you do one thing and move on? When I become the president, I'm going to change the judicial system to have some common sense. Because right now, you find that, yes, somebody has become a lawyer, and Justice Majanja in court said that it's a profession like any other. So how do you practice conveyancing law right from law school without going to sit down with people like Rachir for almost 1 year to know exactly how conveyancing is done? Practically, not theoretically.
Yeah.
That's why it's a mess. And that's why the lawyers I take in my law firm, I pick them and I handpick them. I go to school. When I'm teaching, I look at a bright
student. You still teach at SIU?
No, I'm on a sabbatical because of this PhD, which has taken me too long, which I just finished. Okay. But I teach in some University of London. I teach in Baltimore. I'm also a visiting scholar, teach at Nairobi University as a guest lecturer. The other day I was teaching there in Parklands campus. Yeah, because of too much work. But that's my profession, teaching.
Yeah. So that means you'd know there's cases you'd have to represent a client. You know they're guilty, but then your role is to find a loophole.
No, you cannot know that somebody is guilty unless the prosecution determines on evidential facts.
Based on the evidence you find. I mean, they're still your clients, so your role is to defend them, but you know deep down that they actually are at fault.
Let me look at you and tell you the following. It's just a scenario. We're having a discussion.
Yes.
Somebody has been charged with murder. Okay? Yes, you show him shooting. Then you go to represent that person. There are two things in mind that you have. The actor's rea and the mens rea. What was that person before he shot? And what state of mind was he in when he was shooting? Was he coming from some kind of depression? Had he divorced his wife? Had he lost his money? What was it? What was the essence of provocation that made him to draw his gun or a machete and cut this person? That is where we are. That's why you find out that in all homicides or murder cases, the state has to take the person for medical examination to find about his state of mind. And that's why I come in. I'm not representing the body that killed. I'm representing the state of mind that was in that body, the mind frame. You are driving your car today. You have just interviewed me. You go out and you hit somebody, a pedestrian, and he dies. And you're charged with traffic homicide, like we have it in the UK, where the mens rea is not counted in because it was an accident, unless you are speeding, but you had no intention to kill somebody.
Kill someone, yeah.
Are you a murderer?
No, I'm not.
Now, we are just talking. You have answered me in the affirmative.
Yeah.
Okay. You go to your house and you find somebody in your bed with your wife. And at state of the mind, of the moment, you react and kill that person. Are you a murderer?
Yes.
How?
You killed somebody.
What's
By definition of murder,
Yes.
you did kill somebody.
We did.
And then now we can go into intent and all those things, but it doesn't exclude you from being a murderer.
I'll give you another example.
Okay.
This man comes in at home and beats his wife every day. For the last 50 years, he has been beating this woman. One day, the woman has complained to his parents or her parents, has complained to relatives. They still tell her, go back to your marriage.
Yeah.
This man brings women in the house. When she's there, sleeps with them. And now, if that woman is frying chapati, achukue sufuria nikiwa na moto bang kichwa huyu mtu akufe. Is she murdered? Has she murdered somebody?
Yes, she has.
Do you know what we call battered women syndrome? So is the intent.
Wow. So that's how you guys look at it.
Yes. The state of mind at that particular time when you act.
So that's why people like Didmas are still out here. Although we have them on video shooting.
Yeah, but he will be tried one day. Because he is how the state withdrew that case of Didmas Baraza, how this case treated the Aisha Juma's case. Crime never rots. Those who killed Jewish people and fled to Argentina, they were caught, some were caught with 94 years, 104. A crime never rots.
Kabuga.
We can always have...
Remember Felician Kabuga?
Yeah, he's dead now, I think.
He's dead now, yes.
Yeah. You see, let them escape under the political regime they are in now because he's protecting them. But once Wajackoyah takes over the government, all these suckers will be brought to trial. Yeah. Because the people they killed, the gap they left in other people's families. And that's why we're going to look at the judiciary on a very serious note. But I do not want to go further.
Yeah.
And since they are not acquitted in the court of law, to me, they are still suspects. Case withdrawn. How? Why? And then they now want to remain in political power so that they can do what?
Protect themselves.
And they'll do anything to interfere with the democracy. I'm not saying Didmas Baraza Rota, but I'm talking of people of that kind of disposition. That's why they don't like me. That's why you see this, some of these politicians. I know what I've done. I've been in the intelligence for a very long time in this country.
Yes.
And I have a lot of files on them. Let me reveal for the first time. I know who these people are, and I know some of their dirty linen because I was in the system. So I don't want to be like them. But to those who want to talk with me, fine. But you will hide for how long?
You can't hide. But they say you can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, that's why they want to be presidents for life. That's why you see them fighting. They must be. They don't discuss people's issues. Wajackoyah, huyo wachana naye ni wazimu, mtu wa bangi. Lakini I'm more learned than them. I have a right of audience in higher universities and higher courts. And I'm highly respected outside this country. If I was to be in a country like Nigeria, I would have dined with the president immediately after graduating because my PhD was televised by the university for my achievement. It was, you can Google, the whole world. Have you ever seen that kind of thing? And I was hooded by the Attorney General for having come out with this. I've made a mark in legal history. I've become a world-leading authority on this area of law. Congress has approved my PhD as a source of reference, as academic reference, and then you get somebody here running his mouth without facts. So those people, they will not run and hide forever.
Yeah.
A crime never rots.
How did you find yourself in the police force?
Yes, good question.
Yeah.
In 1983, I had been teaching at Raval Secondary School and then City High School as a trained teacher. So I went to Ramlal Sharma, who was my godfather, the man who brought me up from Hare Krishna. And I said, what do I do? Apparently, Raffles, Sharma was a policeman during colonial times.
Okay.
And then he was a friend of Michuki. Michuki's brother was a police officer in Kiganjo. So he said, why not? You want to join the police? I said, I have nowhere to go. I've been teaching, but I don't see myself going anywhere. So I went to Kakamega and joined the police. And then when we went to Kiganjo, we were the first class to be isolated. All from 6 people were put in the same class, which was me, the former DIG Mbugwa, who is my friend, and some of these top police commanders who have retired, who were in that class. So we came out. What do you
mean isolated?
Yeah, isolated from the rest. From 4 Pandey, from 6 Pandey.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the first time, they separated people, not isolated, separated people. Akina Kioi, the former commandant of traffic, the same class. So when we came out of Kiganjo, I came to Central Police as a police constable. Then we were recalled to Kiganjo for special inspectorate course, which I did. I came back, was taken to Pangani as an OC crime. Then I was taken to Pangani to Kasarani when they were opening the station. So I was the first officer commanding police post. But when they converted to Pangani, officer commanding police post, because it was a post.
Oh, it was a post, okay.
At that time.
Okay.
But when All African Games was opened, they converted into a full-fledged police station. They brought in a new OCS, and then they transferred the police post to Gomongo. And that's why now I joined the intelligence as a trainee. And
so intelligence means DCI or NIS?
NIS. Then it was the current NIS.
Current NIS.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I learned the tools of trade.
Okay, then, because that forms a good basis on some of the things that have transpired in your life. How different was it being a police officer under Moise during Moi's regime and currently?
It was very good. Moi was one of the best presidents who took the values of the police at hand. But then when these units came up in Nyayo House, I can tell you today that in Nyayo House, and I don't want to go into greater details because I took an oath not to reveal a lot of things for life. What people did...
for life?
Yeah, there are different sections in Nyayo House. So you can find out that what you are doing in this room, your neighbor doesn't know. So some of the things I heard from Nyayo House, I was reading them. It was very tough at that particular time.
And you had access to Nyayo House?
No, from Nyayo House, I was taken to Nyati House. And I worked for Kanyoto as a PA. Yeah.
Prof,
then I went to jail. Yeah. From there, I was detained after Dr. Ouko's inquiry because I was commissioned to find out who killed Ouko and what. So we did that. And then somebody started eliminating officers. And I was
who
knew that we knew the information. So that American embassy got wind, Smith Hempstone, when I had been detained to be killed. So I was detained for a while.
Where did they detain you?
Huh?
Where?
In area. First of all, I was put in Wajackoyah police station. It was still very new under Superintendent Onono. Then they took me to Manyani.
Oof.
Yeah, blindfold. I went through torture. If I show you some of the things I have on my body, you'll be fine. A police officer torturing another police officer. Why? Because he has not killed, but he has information which he should not reveal. But luckily enough, whatever I had already sent them out of the country through my conduct, because we used to work with the American system that particular time, so I knew what to do. So I was ahead of time with whatever was happening. So after detention, from there they took me to Force Memorial Hospital to be done the same way they had done other officers. And the Kenyan Army officers blocked the whole thing. I love Kenyan. I love men in uniform. The KDF guys who are working there at Force Memorial, one of them I cannot reveal, said, no, you are not removing him now. If you want to remove him now, remove him after I've handed over. So I was released temporarily because Smith Hempstone had wind. So I was taken to Ajip House. Jaramogi was waiting for me there. He sent Mama Ida to go and find out whether I had arrived. Mama Ida's husband at that time was still in detention. So when she came, she went back and she reported to And that's her recent admission recently when we went to the funeral. She went and told Jaramogi that, yes, I've seen a thin guy in that car. Is he the one? Yeah. So I was driven to Embakasi. Cargo, not JKIA. I was put in Lufthansa airline, cargo plane, taken to Germany. From Germany, it's a story for another day.
Wait, okay. So we're coming to Europe. Wait. Okay, so Moi and Kibaki, I mean, Kibaki is still from Moi's school of thought in a big way. They had a tendency of forming commissions to investigate murders and corruption cases that would still link back to them. That's the thing I didn't understand.
Yeah, it was a decayed system. In intelligence, we call it the vicious circle of contamination. But in other languages, we call it covering up your deeds through your own system.
Because I'm like, I come up front and say, now I'm going to form a commission of inquiry.
Yet you are killed.
But I'm the one. So I'm like, how am I asking people to investigate me? Because you need to lead back to me, and then you know what to do.
And that's why I took upon myself when I was in Europe. I caused mayhem for 20 years. I caused havoc for the Kenya government. I brought my troops. I united with those who are in exile fighting for their freedoms, like the Angolans, Mozambique, guys from Chiapa, Mexico, where Sub-Commandant Marcos was still a young man whom I had met. And then I also teamed up with Jerry Rawlings. We caused mayhem.
Jerry Rawlings is the former president of Ghana?
He was a president.
But he became president through a coup as well.
No, he did. But then when he was a president, he was one of our conduits. Could supply arms to rebels in Africa through him. And that's why when Wangamati, the late Wangamati, the father of the former governor of Bungoma, there was this concocted Fera coup leaders, and he was among them. So he was taken to Uganda. He escaped to Uganda with this group, and he flew into Ghana to speak to Jerry Rawlings, to talk to Museveni and Gaddafi, to lift them to Ghana. I said that in ideology the other day. Wariunge, Nduro Wariunge.
Yes.
When we saw that the Kikuyus were being eliminated because there were too many and they were causing mayhem, especially from Bahati. I spoke to the former Koigi Wamwere when he was in Norway on how it would help the Mungiki leadership to evacuate them from here. I was instrumental of evacuating Nduro Wariunge to Mozambique on a Portuguese passport. Then from there, we took him to Ghana, to Angola. Recently, I took him to see Prophet TB Joshua in Nigeria, and we laughed about it. This guy, the Karen Mungiki, what is the name? Maina Njenga. Yeah, we had also a team working for his release based in Mississippi, in the United States. We had radio stations there that we had a lot of propaganda. That's why we saw the Mandamano was very successful when we were with Raila, because I was the commander of that area, that league.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have seen things, we have done things to liberate this country. From inside, we were in jail. But from outside, the pressure we put, the demonstrations we carried around the world, even as soon as recently, when the kids were being killed here, I went to Texas and Canada to inject my troops. And you saw the demonstration in Japan, in Texas, in Canada, courtesy of Professor Wajackoyah. Yeah, my troops outside.
Where would you get weapons from?
No, it's not an issue of weapons. It's intelligence.
I know, but when it comes to now actual things like weapons, where would you get weapons from?
No, those days we knew how to procure weapons because we had friendly governments that did not want to see atrocities being committed. So we had no option.
So the whole network, so whole system.
Yeah, like Mzee Kenyatta, that is one man I'll respect to my grave, regardless of his shortcomings. Mzee went to Russia when he was in Britain. He learned how to be a soldier in Russia. The Brits did not know that this man had escaped Britain and gone to Russia after throwing him in a farm somewhere in the rural areas, the colonialist. So when he came back, Mzee Kenyatta is the one who actually fought for the independence of Cyprus. He led troops from here in 1969.
But a lot of people, there's a big section of Kenyans who believe he actually didn't fight for this country.
Well, that's that part I can't say no to it because, yes, I know that the history of Dedan Kimathi, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
But what I'm talking of, is the Kenyatta that I read in SOAS when I was at the School of Oriental and African Studies, where I did my second master's, University of London, where Kenyatta also went, where he wrote that paper which was converted into a diploma about the Mau Mau, Muzunga Rudi Kwao na nini. So if you read the history of Kenyatta from there, from the archives kept by the intelligence, that is not a man that would joke with. He knew what to fight, how to fight, and when to fight. And his silence was taken for granted. So I also took part of Kenyatta's intelligence, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. And we worked. Some of my friends are now leaders in those countries. And right now, I'm involved in the dispute of Tigray and the government of Ethiopia as a mediator in one way or the other. I'm also the lawyer for Chadema in Tanzania.
Yeah, you told me you're the lawyer for Chadema.
Yes, Tundu Lissu was my classmate in Warwick. And if you just open that, I'll show you. Can I get
Yeah, for sure. We can get just. He can help you.
Let me just get
Okay,
it.
cool. Yeah. Man, what a life, bro. My goodness. I don't even know if mesmerized is the word.
Yeah. So I've led the Tundu Lissu's troops, and you can look at this.
Yeah. Is he out?
No.
He's still in now?
Yeah, he's still in. And the other day I went to Tanzania when I was invited to go and partake the inauguration of God Bless Lema, who had been arrested, who I actually smuggled from Tanzania to bring here after... I will say a lot of things that I'm not supposed to say. After Magufuli took power, I went to Tanzania and smuggled in 2 MPs from there.
Brought them
across
to Kenya.
the border and brought them. And that is
I see.
that is God Bless Lema. And that's a case that I used my international connections. When he came in with his group, they sought refugee and asylum, and I took them to Canada. I asked the Canadian government to give them refuge. So they went there, about 4 MPs. But how did I bring them from Tanzania? I flipped the whole government. When I got wind, when Magufuli had sent his troops and arrested some of these fellows, I took my group, some of my group from somewhere. We went to Namanga. Then I went and saw them. They had not yet come in.
On the other side of the border.
Yeah, but the wife, we had already crossed the wife. So I went to a Somali shop where they sell
clothes, Somali outfit. No, the Muslim.
Simu, nini, gadgets.
Okay.
So that day I became a Muslim. Of course, I've been a Muslim before anyway. So I went there. I gave this man some money. It was on a Friday. Kambia ukienda msikiti. Takula, when do Wajackoyah? Hey! I said. Nika survey the shop. It was on the border. But it was... Nilikuwa nataka kuona kama kuna exit. Exit was there. So nikasema, mzee, kichwa inaniuma. Nikanunua soda, nikakunywa. Kambia niko hapa na watu wangu. Sitaki kupitia huko, watu wananingojea, watanyang'anya pesa. So najua nimerun na run for nini, huko watachukua pesa yangu. Sasa fanyia mimi. Mimi nikija toka huko tu nitapitia hapa. Kasema sure. So I commissioned some pikipikis huko nje ya nini, na magari nilikuwa nimeweka mahali. So I came in with dilemma. Walipopewa hizo vitu na nikaona Tanzanian police were also just moving in. So nikampeleka chuo. Nikamwonyesha ile duka. It's just next to the border.
Yeah.
Kaenda kaingia. Na I had positioned my boys there. As soon as he came in, akaambia, we, kuja tu, follow me. Kaenda huko akaweka pikipiki. Na mimi nikatokea huko. That's when we were arrested. When they realized that tumeflip the system, when we reached inaitwanga Bisley, we found a whole troop of Kenyan police. 56 policemen. Wametungojea kwa barabara. Na niko na God Bless Lema na bibi yake na watoto. So nikasema sasa, what do we do? Tukasarenda.
You turn yourself in.
So I was also arrested. Matiang'i was the Minister for Internal Security. And you can imagine how dictatorial that man was.
Could not even obey a single court order.
My friend. And he wants to be the president. May God bless him. So what happened is I told my guys to calm down because I'm a player in this game. I know what it is. Tukapelekwa police station. Simu ndio hizo zinapigwa. Wako hapa afande. Wako hapa. Waweko wapi? Nikasema sawa. So nikafikiria, then I called the British Embassy. And I made my prayers to the British Embassy. I called the director of UNCHR in Switzerland, the commission. And I gave them my story. Quickly, BBC World Service rushed to Bissell police station. Within 2 hours, the international media was there. Uhuru Kenyatta was coming the following day. So they didn't want anything. The security, the advance party had also come. So within that time, I spoke to the British Embassy. I spoke to the Swiss Embassy. I spoke to 2 British MPs in London. And the Tanzanians sent in a special plane. Negotiations had already been taken. But when Matiang'i saw what was happening, Matiang'i ndiye alikataa jamaa wangu kuchukuliwa kuweka ndege kurudisha Tanzania. Yeah, there I give him little credit. So now it came a point whereby they were to be taken to court the following day. But the wife and the children had been released. So I talked to somebody who evacuated them to this office from Bissell. But then they had taken us to a hotel, but I removed them from that hotel, the wife and the children, to come here. So I remained with the God bless, and some officials from the UN. But then they were making up charges. And I had already declared him as an asylum seeker. But then they were now making up charges to take him to Athi River Court or Machakos or whatever it is. I slipped through the toilet with that man. I had a brand new Prado, engine ilipasuka tukifika Nairobi, hapo karibu na airport. Ndio tukaingia kwa lori. I brought this man here and handed him over to the Canadian authorities through mine. And that's when now everything went like this. And fait accompli. Kapelekwa Canada. Later on, alirudi Tanzania, wakaniita kwenda kwa homecoming. Kufika tu Arusha, nimeshikwa. Ndio huyu. Nikawekwa ndani. Nikapigia Mama Ida. Because sikupata mzee Raila. Because they were very close with Magufuli. Mama Ida nafikiria alipigia bibi ya Magufuli. So within 1 hour nikaja kutolewa. Sasa na magari kama president, napelekwa Arusha.
Wow.
From Kilimanjaro International Airport. So we have had histories of revolution. So when I see people throwing stones here and speaking loudly without plan, I say, these guys are just wasting their time. You have to plan. You have to make your enemy look at you as a bastard.
And you need networks. And
you need networks.
Those people you mentioned that you had to call, bring media, do EV. Without those, then you know what could have happened to you guys.
Yes, I even called Museveni. I didn't get
speak to Museveni directly.
Definitely. I called Kikwete. I said, my friend, even I can call Kikwete and I can say, what's going on? But that's a story for another day. So the thing I'm trying to say is, with the revolutionists, you have to plan your enemy. You have to study your enemy. And when you talk too much and become too abusive, you become the most relevant and reckless person because your enemy is reading you.
Yes.
That's why you see when they're abusing the president, Ruto 1 term, Ama 2 term, what do I have to do with it? Have they involved me with them on the table and given me reasons why we should talk on personalities? Have they involved me in a blueprint, which we can sit as political parties, come up with a secretariat, have each and every political party to contribute its share of issues, that we can get a committee of experts to write up a blueprint paper and share it with the Kenyans. What are your talk? What do we do? What's your take? If I abuse Ruto today, and I'm being very honest, I'm not pro-Ruto, but I will not abuse him. I did enough abuse. Now, Nick was my classmate at Kenya School of Law.
Nick Ruto.
Nick Ruto. Mrs. Ruto is a very good friend. She's a mother. She's a very nice person if you sit down one-on-one. So if I go to meet them, nilikuwa natukana Ruto. What about if I'm seeking votes from the Kalenjin community? How will they look at me? So politics of abuse is what is actually putting us in trouble. But at the same time, also the president is doing wrong. If you look at his policies, they are not forthcoming. Yeye ni kuamka tu nimefungua barabara hii, nimefungua hii, nimefungua. Lakini he has never...
Roadside declarations, what's the problem?
He has never gone to open a road that he has completed. Na ndio nakuta some wafala wengine wanapiga makofi kama psychophants. So you want me to group with those people to discuss what? Ndio sasa niwe nikiseme raisi, umefanya hivi. In America we don't do that. In UK we don't do that. Revolutionaries don't clap and become praise and worship teams. Mandela will not go there to be a sycophant of Botha in South Africa because he has released him.
Yeah.
You don't kill people and then unapewa kiti alafu inatolewa unaanza kuimba mimi ndio governor nakuja lazima mpigie rais makofi. Mimi nikiwa rais ukinipigia makofi nitakuweka kwa jela. Ati nimeenda mahali naimbiwa nini? Ati watoto wa shule anakuimbia. Come on, I'm not going into that has been there when I was growing up.
It's a very Moi way of doing things.
No, even Kenyatta. Yeah. The only person who was a bit liberal on that was Kibaki.
It's a very Kanu way of doing things, for lack of a better word.
Yeah. Why do I waste school children's ati wanaenda kuturn because the president is passing? Just have one car, be my man. Unaniona hivi? Mimi, wakitaka kuniua, they know when to kill me. Because I'm here. I'm not running away. I'm on the roadside. Ukienda nayo kwa matatu saizi, utajienjoy. Because of the love those people have. But hii issue ya kusema tu, sasa Wakikuyu ni wengi, lazima mtu wetu. Walia ni wengi, lazima tutoe Wetangula. To carry flags. What about Mijikendas? What about Giriamas in the knee? We should have universal suffrage kind of political system, proportional representation, where all communities in Australia are given a leeway on political meandering. But here, if it is one vote, one man vote, then one tribe will rule us forever. And I'm going to look into ways of doing away with that. What is democracy? How does Fela Kuti describe democracy? There is no word like democracy. You have to be a dictator to dictate. Europe is advanced because the previous leaders were dictators. Singapore is advanced because the former leader was a dictator. We need a benevolent dictator who is not bloodthirsty, but economic thirsty. And if it is that Kenyans want to elect me, I will be very bad. The first 1 year, itakuwa jela na kunyonga. Jela na kunyonga. Na kupeleka kotini, tell us to account for this wealth, defend yourself. If not, we take you to hang you. In China, you involve yourself in corruption, even abroad. When you go it, you are taken to court, and then you are hanged.
In Japan, you take your own life.
Yeah,
they give you room.
Yeah, uende ukunywe ukufe huko na mambo inasaulika.
But sorry.
Yeah, sebuku, yeah. That's what it's called in Japanese.
Oh.
It's called?
Sebuku.
Sebko.
Unaenda kukula life. Na nakupatia demu wakati unakufa ama na nyama na nini.
Because you're the only presidential candidate, yourself and Boniface Mwangi, who are very clear on the only way we can deal with corruption in Kenya is we have to hang these people.
They will be hanged.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Kenya, if we hang about 20,
everyone falls in line.
Yeah, we shall first of all give them amnesty. Rudisha kila kitu. You have 120 days.
Return everything.
Yes, and then confess to Kenyans. Then you get a confession certificate. Then you will not work for 5 years because you are a thief, you are a criminal.
5 years is little.
Tunapatia 5. They can reform. We are also human.
Okay.
Ndio kirudi. Na ni kama wewe ni mwizi, ukiiba, reforming judiciary will be the best thing that I'll look into. Sentencing. Kama umeiba ama you have raped somebody, unapewa placard after sentence or before sentence. Ukiwa remand, kutolewa. Hiyo placard unakaa. Naona saa zile umekuwa found guilty na umefungwa. Ukitoka, unafaa placard. Huku kusema I'm a rapist na huku kusema I'm a rapist. Unapelekwa shule za wasichana karibu 5. Ukitembea tu watu wakipiga picha. I think that is deterring. Matter of deterring. So let us be honest. Hii vile system iko saa hizi, hata ni run for president, of which I am, they have already known how they are going to steal. But we have a way out, and I'm not going to say which one.
Yeah, don't reveal your secrets yet.
No, because Machiavelli doesn't like you to populate your enemy with the metrics of the future.
So from your time in intelligence, what now we call NIS, you're saying then the unfortunate murder of Robert Ouko happens, then it lands on your table, and then that leads to you getting detained, and then you have to be assisted by the US ambassador at the time to leave the country.
And Jaramogi Odinga.
And Jaramogi. So what do you know about the murder of Robert Ouko?
I'm not saying nothing because I'm gagged by the courts.
For real? Even till now? And that remains like that forever?
Until the court says otherwise.
Do you see yourself ever getting to a point where you can openly say what
Definitely.
you know?
In a book, once the gag is lifted.
Is there a time period for this gag?
Yes, there is time period, but that one I can also not say it. It's sealed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a 2010 report that was tabled in Parliament regarding the murder of Robert Ouko. Do you remember that?
I remember, and that was just a cover-up by the former MP for Kisumu South, Mr. Gorsungu. Yeah, it was. Why would you take people like Gor to go in and they had a populated interest in the matter? Take members of the Armed Forces Committee.
Yeah.
Get my men from the army and the police and retired judges, prison officers to look into it and think you'll get an impartial report. But not something you're given and then you're given money in State House to cover.
Because that report, they claimed that he was murdered in one of the official state houses in the country, in the presence of the former president.
Yeah, they were actually replicating what I had told the Sunday Nation in Britain in 1991. There was nothing new there. All they were coming out with is what I had said.
So is that the actual story then of what happened to Robert Ouko?
What I told, which is in public domain,
okay.
The Sunday Times in London in 1991, February, not January, I think it was 22nd, is what has been the story.
Okay, so the issue of the Nakuru State House, Biwott, Hezekiah, and
it's mentioned. Yeah, that's what I mentioned.
Okay. Okay, so but you can confidently say you know who murdered Robert Ouko.
I cannot say it for now.
Not names, but you know.
Well, I may know, yes. Go and read the paper, then probably you'll get the answer.
How do I get an 91 paper? Unless it's
No. Just you Google my name with Sunday Times.
Yeah.
And then Ouko, you'll see that.
Okay. So this is 36 years since Robert Ouko was murdered. How does Robert Ouko get justice, especially when the people who've been quote unquote accused of murdering him are also dead?
I think when we take over, when you have a proper regime, we shall find out what to do with that.
Okay.
Because a crime never rots.
Yeah.
The proceeds of crimes also do not get rotten. We can come up and name them publicly. Who killed Kimati? Dedan Kimati? Where was his body taken?
Do we know?
Who killed Ouko? Why did they kill Ouko? The families, those living, will only be satisfied when the names are brought up after an inquiry.
For sure. And would you say intelligence knows? Of course, intelligence knows where Dedan Kimati's remains are put.
Probably.
What is there anything that intelligence doesn't know?
Intelligence,
especially at that high level.
They know it.
They know, right?
Yes, they do.
And would any president be privy to this information? Like if I was president today, would I get access to all this classified information?
Some of the things that happened when the regime is changing hands, what happens in the intelligence unit is they try to destroy what will implicate them, what might implicate those who are within that circles of regime. But as for now, Haji, the director of NSIS, is one of the most intelligent human beings on earth. But but I'll leave it as that. Because I knew Kanyotu, who was my immediate boss. Kanyotu taught me how to be intelligent. And Kanyotu was never known in public. And Kanyotu is my pillar of resonance and public involvement, engagement,
Then how do you look at these people when, I'd say, quote unquote, you know, such things I could call very filthy that they've done, and they're just out here? How do you look at them the same way?
The thing is, when it comes to information, we have what we call classified information and categorized information. We have top secret, on the need-to-know basis. We have secret, we have confidential, and we have partial information which can be given to anybody. So when you look at the top secret side of it, you'll find out that that information is very vital to national security intelligence. If you look at countries like Romania, the king, Ceausescu, made sure that he destroyed the intelligence headquarters and the flow of information, except like for today, information is actually preserved and stored in the cloud. So you cannot now you can easily have access if you know how to get it. So the role of intelligence is very important. The classification of what happens is very important. And that is what the government is. NSIS is the government and the government is NSIS. Otherwise, the president is just a puppet. They can remove him anytime they want to.
Yeah.
It happens with the CIA and what have you. But then when it comes to what you have asked, I think when Moi left, when Kenyatta left, I was not in the country. I was outside. But I'm very sure that some of the information was destroyed. Yes.
And you left in 1990, same year?
91.
91. That's when you left the country. And then how long were you gone until you could come back? You could feel safe enough?
No, Kibaki, the British and the American governments talked to Kibaki during his visits about me. You know, I have friends in those two governments. Like the current Deputy Prime Minister in UK, Mr. David Lammy. I actually contested with him in the seat of Tottenham when Barney Grant died. He's Black British, and we were in the same school in SOAS. When we went for the election, he defeated me in primary, and he took the mantle on Labour Party. And we've been friends ever since. He became the Secretary of State for Commerce, and then later on, currently the Deputy Prime Minister in the UK. I have friends like those and others, like Lord Steele, the former leader of the Liberal Democrats. I had Tony Blair's wife, whom I worked in her chambers as a lawyer. And then the other side of the US, yes, my wife comes from a very prominent African-American family, politically.
Okay.
So with my connections, they spoke to Kibaki, and Kibaki gave me leverage to come back.
Okay.
Yes.
So you felt safe enough to come back?
Not safe enough. Of course, safety is you and your heart.
Yeah, because you can come back, but Kibaki could say yes, but there's other people who may feel some type of way anyways.
Yes, but when I came back, I said, let me go. I wrote my will and I left my wife with it. I said, if they kill me, so what? We have children. They're grown up. My kids were like, Dad, just go.
Your life has to move on as well.
Yeah.
So in this period in the UK is when you were a grave digger, said for like 7 years. You are a pimp.
Yeah.
Please tell me about being a pimp.
He's a business, man. He's a business.
Yeah.
Even Malcolm X was a pimp.
Malcolm X was a pimp.
Yeah, he was a pimp.
Okay.
Louis Farrakhan was a pimp. If I mention names, you'll be very surprised. That's a way of living. I was at the university where I didn't have money to pay fees. There are students who are also in the same book like me from Poland. You know, during that time, Poland was undergoing a revolution from Les Valenza. Valenza had just taken over. And you know, Poland's economy depended on shipbuilding and potatoes. So those from the rural areas who came to study couldn't have time to go back to Poland. So these little girls used to come around in the student union, we chat and what have you. And some of them had never experienced black men. So we, as Nigerian students, we said, what do? We have to survive, man. Survival for the fittest. So we did a business. We opened up a business to do what we could do to survive. But apparently, one of the girls who was the pimp lady leader is now, I think she's been the Minister for Education in Poland. So when she was getting married, she called all the pimp students who are lawyers, doctors, to go to Poland, and they were telling us a story. And we laughed about it. I confessed, but if it is a business, it's a legitimate business in Netherlands. They call them what they call them. That's a big industry which can bring in millions of shillings if it's regulated properly. And I hate calling people prostitutes. Those are mothers, man. If there's a very senior lawyer in this country whose mother used to sell her body in the streets in Nairobi to get money to go and pay fees for the son. Well, will you now condemn that woman? So there's these stereotypes of abusing people and not accepting realities. Is what Wajackoyah government is going to say, you know what? We legalize prostitution. Mutadu. So that we protect this industry. The amount of violence these girls go through at night, And they're doing it not because they're prostitutes, but they're doing that because they want to make a living to sacrifice for their families. Let's train them. Let's open proper brothels. Let people go and do business. Let's have proper Medicare for them. There is nothing wrong with that. Just like I'm saying for weed. Once we commercialize weed for industrial purpose, for health purpose, what's wrong with smoking it? In America, UK, US, there are now designated places to smoke. Even doctors are now prescribing weed if you have a certain ailment in you. But here, the mythology of religion and the mythology of colonial mentality, they bring in nicotine-oriented cigarettes, like Sportsman.
Which are very harmful.
Na hata kwa hiyo packet wamechora vile lungs zako zitakaa. Have you ever heard that somebody has died of being drunk because amechukua weed? A pregnant woman who has taken it for medical purposes and she's driving, hata amekuwa involved in an accident unless somebody hits her. So we need to remove that myth and we need to do things the African way. We need to build industries. Like now, Canada, Toronto Stock Exchange today, hemp, 50 kg of hemp today is how much? $302 million. Canada now making planes made out of hemp. Israeli economy. Let me ask you a question. What does Israel economy derive itself from? It is a land of religion where each and every pastor in Kenya goes there to bang his head on the wall, saying that they have gone to the wall of religion.
That famous wall.
Yeah, without knowing that hemp is the main product that keeps the Israeli industry going.
Even here, Lesotho, South Africa.
Yeah, Uganda. And hemp,
I think in Rwanda, if they haven't legalized for commercial use and medical use, I think it's in discussion.
Yes, but in Israel, all the heavy-duty armaments, all those war tanks, all those gadgets used to make cameras, to make what have you, the orange industry, because Israel has become the largest world exporter of orange juice in the world, the ingredients they make to make orange juice, they're all from hemp. Lakini hapo utakuta ukizungumza hivyo, vile nimevaa hii, watu wanasema huyo kichwa yake ni bad. Yes, I love my head being bad. That's when I think properly. Because if I was to go to the church in the morning, then do hallelujah thing, pray forever when I want to eat, and the food is getting cold, I'm not condemning those who do that. It's their habit inherited from a colonial mentality. When I enter church, and I go to church also, unakuta sanamu imetengenezwa ya mama, imepakwa picha, imepakwa rangi, atu hiyo ni Bikira Maria.
Ile ya Mary.
Ya Mary. Alafu naenda kuweka vidole yako hapo nafanya. Come on, let's come out from that. Religion is your heart. And if you want to profess it, but don't step on other people's shoes. Because it's a fundamental right for people to worship the God they want.
Yeah.
So if I have got my God, don't interfere with me. Have your God, let me have mine, but don't interfere. A school next to my home in Indangalasia, it's a secondary school. And then there was a church there which was playing music, loud music, and kids are sitting for the exam.
Yeah.
And I was supporting those kids, from 4 kids. Nilienda nikaambia pastor, tafadhali, watoto wanasomea mtihani. Tafadhali nini? No. Do you know what I did? Nilienda nikachukua pikipiki inaitwa tuktuk. Nikaweka mawe. Because nipigia police, they did not act. Nikaenda nayo, nikasema sasa, hii kanisa, msipoifunga, watoto wasome, nitaenda kuwatoa klasa hizi wakuja wapige na mawe. That's how it ended. When the police came, it was too late. So let us actually be conscious of other people's values.
Yeah. I think that's the essence of community and society. Because we are all different, we all pray differently, but I think what should be always paramount is respect. So that we are accommodating of each other.
Yeah,
see, certain groups feel like they can do whatever they will and they get away with it. Especially religion in Kenya and Africa. People get away with so much in the name of religion. So much.
Mwingine anakuja anasema I talk to God every day.
Yeah, kuna ule mwenye anaonyesha watu WhatsApp message I was talking to God on WhatsApp.
Na ule wa kunyoa kina mamba kwa church.
Bana, tuache ujinga bana. Like genuinely. Like come on.
Nilikuwa nataka kwenda hiyo church lakini nilisikia yuko Nigeria. Kwenda tu kuona vile jamaa mama anatoa suruali.
Kienda kuona TB Joshua tena aenda umuone. TB Joshua pia ni mwingine. Oh sorry. The church is still there.
He was my great friend and I was his lawyer.
For real?
Yeah, you Google Wajackoyah.
The crooks we've represented. Kama TB Joshua, proper crook. That one.
Huyo ni bestie.
The expose. Like in the expose, even the way he died is still, it's still a bit mysterious. Anyway, he's dead now. We don't have to dwell on it. But
first of all, I took Ndunge wa Rionki.
To see. Umeniambia to see TB Joshua.
Alafu kwa matanga yake pia nilienda. Nikaona tu nionenge tu huyu ndiye amekufa kweli rafiki yangu. Nikaamini wakati aliwekwa kwa hiyo namna hiyo. Lakini wacha tuseme, let's come to...
Did you see the expose though that was done on TB Joshua?
Niliona, lakini unajua sasa kama best yangu sasa. And even this guy who died recently. What is his name?
Kenya, from Kenya?
The Kenyan guy who died in a road accident.
A pastor?
Yeah, Bishop. There. I was also...
ule ukiba watoto?
I was also one of his lawyers in UK.
The crooks you've represented.
To me, they were my clients.
Yeah. Him kwanza sasa ilikuwa ile kuiba watoto. And then they'd get away with it in the name of religion.
And that's why I want religions to be regulated.
Kagame is doing it.
Yeah.
He did it already.
Na kama anataka kunipatia kura wanipatie. Kama hataki wawache. Because realities has to be faced. And that's why I need to be a benevolent dictator. Kuna churches that took me to court during the election. I had 70 cases. Atuwe mtu kichwa yake si mzuri. Walinipeleka kotini, I won all the cases.
I remember the Catholic Church specifically saying during that time...
That bishop from Nyeri.
Yes. Wakisema... I think something around drug abuse will be high if they let you become president. Something in those lines.
Na huyu, anaitwa nani? Huyu jamaa, huyu Pastor Nganga. Nganga condemned me to die in 1 year. I'm still alive.
Nganga said that?
Yeah, he said, we are kufe, shindwe. Atakufa mwaka hii, I'm still alive.
Lakini sinajua Nganga pia zake zinakuangi vizuri.
Lakini Nganga naye mimi napenda. Mimi napenda tu Nganga. Sometimes I look at this man. If people were to preach like Nganga, people would be excited. Me, I don't go there because I want to go to God. Nataka tu kwenda kumsikiza. Anakuambia the truth. No, he has refused me to go.
You can just walk in.
No, alikataa. Alikataa huyo mtu sitaki kuona hapa.
Mimi nilienda.
Kulikuwaje?
With some of my friends. And then we brought one of our Muslim friends because he also sees Nganga online. I go like, this guy is exciting. First time he's ever been in a church. And we went for the service. Very interesting.
So kuja tu tuende huko secretly.
Hiyo
siku watu wataomba. Atasema, wewe unataka nini? But the man is so good.
Yeah.
I love Nganga.
He's a funny guy.
Walipokuwa anataka kuchukua church yake, I volunteered to go and represent him. Lakini nikakuta ule Osoro. Kuna mtu anaitwa Osoro. At NMP. And the lawyer.
Osoro is,
I've never seen him in court, but I was waiting to see him in court representing Nganga.
So there was did it actually go to court?
No,
it didn't.
It didn't.
Yeah, it just died naturally.
Yeah, and somebody wanted to grab his land.
So I think this is what they do, politicians here, is they'd put it out there, and then kama utaogopa, they come in. Nganga was so strong, aliwaambia kujeni.
Na mimi wakichukua hiyo church ya Nganga, nitakataa. Nitaenda kuwaombea kwa Holy Spirit yangu. Unajua mimi pia niko tuna ma spirit zangu za mahanjamu. Niko tuna mahanjamu zake za maajabu. Si nilisema wenye alinibia kura 2022 atakufa. Before the election. Nikasema hiyo, wacha tuachie hiyo ndani ya maji. Alafu wenye ataiba 2027. Akifikiria tu still Wajackoyah atakufa usubuhi nimekuwa tangazwa. Because we are just going to be true.
2022, you believe they actually stole votes?
They did, not that I believe. My systems told me how it happened. And who did it. And how they did it. Na mimi nawajua. Wengine ni mawaziri. Lakini, you know what? Let me just look at them. One day they will look at me. Ama namna gani?
Ukweli.
Wameniibia alafu wanataka niende nigonge magoti yangu chini. Nimekuja niwe waziri. Kwenda huko. First of all, tell me, Professor, I'm sorry I stole your votes. Then we can work together.
Did they offer you a CS position?
They have tried. Some people telling me, we kuja tukupatie sijui eka 200 Bomet. Kuna nini? Kasema nyinyi. How do you play with an intelligence man? How do you even address me to tell me what? And I've been trained for years. Not 1, not 2, not 10. 20, 25 years. So I know how systems work. So you cannot come to manipulate me. Like today I've seen anaitwa nani? I hope we are just having a general discussion.
Of course.
Anaitwa, what is his name? Gachagua. With his bitterness. Amesha sample watu, Amemention majina yote wenye anaenda kukaa chini kama opposition watoe mtu mo.
Okay, your United Opposition. You said that.
Sasa amesema ilikuwa kwa TikTok sahi.
Okay.
Lakini amemention majina yote akawacha ya Wajackoyah. Because anajua. Because I am not going to derive my leadership from that group. I'm deriving my leadership directly. You can open the window. Directly from the people.
From the people, yeah.
Yeah. That's why I am discussing issues with the Kenyans. I'm not going to sit up in a platinum wall. Tunapanga vile tutachukua serikali, huyu atakuwa waziri wa huyu atakuwa. Na ni wasn't easy. Those people should actually come up with a scorecard to show us what they did when they were ministers and what developments they brought. Sasa because walianguka kura, wameenda wamegroup, wanakaa room moja, wanasema vile atakuwa chief justice, huyu atakuwa hivi. Na mtu kama Wajackoyah, if you don't mention me, you are losing the whole constituency. Because my followers ni wale wa damu. Wanasemanga nini? Organic.
Cult following.
Yes, yeah, now we can apply that. I have cult following throughout Africa and also in the world. There are countries when I go, that happens. So alafu asha demarcate the country jioni, wako on top of roof, wanatukana nani? Ruto. Tell people about issues. People already know that Ruto is a bad person. So what's the point of talking about Ruto when you know what he has done? That is not conclusive.
Yeah, tell people what you plan to do.
What are you planning for people? Don't come and tell me, huyo ni mbaya, alafu sasa mchukue inji mjigawanye. Wananchi ambao wataona hiki kitu na wenye wanaonanga mimi nikiongea kama wazimu. If you don't make me the president, you are going to suffer for the rest of your life. Mimi niko sawa.
Is the manifesto changing in 2027?
Yeah, we are now doing collective discussion with wananchi to see where we went wrong. What can we do? So what can we include?
So you can come up with something else.
Yeah.
But can I have to ask you some of the key highlights from a previous one. I think marijuana we have discussed. The other one was hyena testicles.
That was not in my manifesto. It's not written.
For real?
It was just a by talk, kind of.
And then everyone
picked it from there.
But then we are not serious about that.
No, I didn't actually put it in our manifesto.
Okay.
Yeah, it was slip of the tongue, but it was intentional.
Okay.
Yeah.
Snake venom?
Yes, we are maintaining that one. Because snakes are in itself an industry. Snake venom, 1 gram of snake venom is $6,000. And that's why the pharmaceutical industries in the world have lobbied. Have lobbied.
It's okay.
Go and tell them to. Yeah, they have lobbied international, certain countries to pass international agreements not to allow African countries to grow that industry.
Oh, for real?
Yes, because they know the benefit is very great. Now, in Kenya alone, we have 3 sites of snake power. We have Kitui.
I just know the Watamu one.
No, Watamu is not that. Kitui, Kitui, Baringo, and Teso. Teso in Busia County. Now, if we have modern scientific equipment to harvest snake venom, properly regulated, we can increase our income with snake venom alone. The skins, are used for clothing manufacturing and garments, and the meat is a prosaic food for the Asian communities. We can preserve the meat and export it. And then we can also look at the wasani, those women, old women at home, like in Tana River, Kilifi especially, and Teso.
Yeah.
Hawa mama ambao anafuga nyoka kwa nyumba zao for domestic upkeep, we can include them to be wasanis. Ili wazungu wakija wanaenda kuona how an old woman can be able to tame a venomous snake. That is income. So the snake industry is something that is very big. But because of biblical teachings, unaambiwa ati nyoka ilienda ikalala na Adam. Na mimi najua hiyo nyoka ilikuwa ni ile ya suruali. Ya Eve. Yeah. So they used that to demystify people's psychology and mentology in that anything bad is associated with snake. Yes, snake is bad. Hata wewe ukispit your saliva on the snake, it will die. So we have that equal. What have you? Our poison, our saliva is snake poison, And snake saliva is our poison.
Is it a fact? If I spit on a snake, it dies?
You do research.
Just a check. Is that a fact? Just a check.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's just like a chameleon. They are born two. When one mates the other one kills the husband. That's why you'll always find them one. And that's a reality. Yeah. So anyway, tutakuwa na hiyo industrial aspect na ile wasanii. Hawa mama vikongo hawa pia watakuwa na income. Wa kuonyesha nyoka kwa nini. So we are maintaining that one.
Okay. Then maybe still within the same election. Yeah. What happened with your previous running mate, Justina?
I'm sorry, I have to send a message of condolences to her father who passed on, I think yesterday or day before.
Oh, my condolences.
Yes, and I'm planning to visit her. We didn't have any difference that I know of, but I saw her most of the time talking about me on television. So I was wondering, what's wrong with my sister? And she's one of the best women politicians. She has a great future in this country. I admired her intelligence. I admired her as a person. The husband was a very, very nice and supporting husband, Mr. Kanyi. But then when she started abusing me, I sat down and I said, hey, what is going on here? Saa zingine, anaambia watu kwa TV, when I said I was going to court, I have my litigation there. Niko na hizo cases zangu when we went to court in the Supreme Court. Anaenda kuaddress watu ati, I've spoken to my party leader. He's not going to take part in that court. And I'm in court. So she started misinforming about me just because I spoke something good about Raila. And what you have heard me say, how the Raila family helped me to escape the country. I couldn't just come up and take somebody's rhetoric to say that Raila was bad. So to me, she became very much chauvinist in terms of tribalist. She's a woman, she's a Kikuyu. Kikuyus of her caliber do not like Luos. Huyu amesaliti. Sasa yeye ni Mjaluo. But I knew what was happening because I had Moses Kuria. He's a friend, but he's also a joker. A snake. Because Moses Kuria kept on writing on Facebook. My sister ran away from them. He played a very big tribal card. Our sister, Kuja. Sasa nikasema, So I left her alone to run, to twerk. She twatched until she gave up. And I'm here to hear her again speak about me. Because I made her. Nobody knew her. When she came in this office after vetting, within 3 days, she became known internationally. And I made sure that I would use my connection to put her up there. Yes, I did. And I thank God that I was able to put somebody in the limelight. But when she started abusing me, what did I do? I shut up. Today I'm talking about it for the first time. But she's a good political leader that I can work with. If only now things are put correctly on. You don't know how much she brought people here wearing shirts as youth leaders from Roots. I've never seen them. Walienda wakachukua hiyo, unajua it was UDA kind of using her. Wakachukua vijana kutoka sijui Kawangware wakavalisha. They made noise up here. At we are taking over, we are the Roots youth. And I'm like, what's wrong with this lady? She went berserk on me, abused me properly. But Raila called me and said, you know what? Don't respond. People have abused me. Kina Martha Karua has been sworn in. They swore back outside judicial hours. But I'm working with her. So what's wrong with you? You know, Raila, what's wrong with you? Wachana naye kabisa.
Yeah.
But that's how life is. But she has a great future. That's what I can say.
Yeah. Is your close friendship with Raila the reason why a section of people believed you are working for Azimio chini ya maji?
Yeah, people are saying that. But in reality, we're on the same table with Raila. And if you look at what I was saying, I was talking on issues. People can, if I was working remotely, then why did I just have one car? I had 2 cars for the campaign. A black Prado 120 and a Lexus. Why couldn't I even afford to go into a helicopter to run around? Why didn't I have audience? Why did Raila not even choose me if I was his ally during this, suggest to me to join Ruto's government? I knew my limitations also with Raila because I've studied these people and I knew what they were thinking about me. Yeah, you know people who can use you, but if you become used, sometimes it's good to play a Machiavelli. Say yes, sir. Say sorry where there is no nini. So you have to play like a frog. Ukisema yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, do I mean yes when I say like that? So with Raila, is an Njima is gone. People associated with me with him. And I said, it's okay. If that's what you think, it's fine. Some said I was being funded by Ruto. Where was the money then? Some said I was a Uhuru Mall. I've never met Uhuru until recently when I met him when he was with Raila. And he gave me his number. Whenever I call him, he has never answered. So why should I bother calling him? Mtu mwingine aliniambia jana, Uhuru wants to see you. Nikasema what for? Atimpigie simu nikamwambia kwenda huko. Nipigie kama nani? Yeye alinipatia simu nikimpigia achukue. I'm not here to beg.
Mimi kama if I'm looking for you, Prof, I'll call you. I'll reach out. I'm like, hey, Prof, I'm reaching out for XYZ.
Yeah. Ndio wengine alikuwa anataka niende kneel before Ruto. Tumheshimiwa. There are some governors who are going not to come back in the next election. I can assure them. They will not come back unless they are rigged in. Because they have lost touch with the ground. So some of them, when they are with me, or when I go to their rallies, wanasema, si useme tu hivi. Nitakupeleka kwa Ruto. Mimi, unipeleke kwa Ruto kufanya nini? Because he wants to score. Niende huko nipewe ka ministry, like recently when they wanted to give me a minister or cabinet secretary. Alafu it ends up in parliament at the vetting. Wanasema it's not suitable. Nimeenda wapi? Simejilambisha sahani yangu mwenyewe.
Umejipatia red card.
Yeah, red card. So I look at them also because you have to play intelligence most of the time.
Were you surprised at how fast ODM split just soon as after Raila died?
It had already split when Raila was still alive. And that's why one day I and Kalonzo confronted Raila when they were going now to have this PG for Azimio MPs. And Raila was saying now it has been decided. MP, but I already had intelligence, raw intelligence. When all this was happening, I was already aware of what was happening and who was doing what where. So it was not a surprise to me. So I told Raila, no, we are not joining. Then he told me, hey, you are in the streets. You should know better. I said, well, I was, but I am not joining. That the day we were stoned, mimi nikatoka na this, naitwa nani, we women rep wa Mswahili kutoka Mombasa, wa Wiper. What's her name again? I told her, Mama, they're going to stone people.
Oh, just a check for us.
Kuja, tutoke. So we went out and our vehicle stoned, but that's when they were beating Kalonzo. Because I was already aware and I told Kalonzo, please leave with me now. Because I had already initial intelligence. That's why I did not enter with my car. Because I knew today we are going to be beaten by Raila's stooges, crocodiles, and then that was it.
But even, and I was having a discussion with Sifuna this Saturday. I recorded conversation as well. And I was saying the same thing. I feel like even as regular people from the outside who didn't have as much intelligence as you might be privy to, we could see that there's a big section of ODM people who were already pro-government after the elections were done.
Yeah, one of them was Raila's brother, Oburu. Then there was Oparanya. Then there was John Badi.
Jalango.
Jalango went long time ago because of Nja.
Yeah.
Tunaita Nzala kwa Kizaire. We had a woman Homa Bay.
Nani Wanga.
Wanga was
Gladys
there.
Wanga, yes.
Then we had several MPs from Migori.
We could see them. Like it was not rocket science.
Yes, so me, I already smelled the Atandi.
Yes.
They started rebelling against me. So they are there now. They got what they wanted. But have they made any difference?
Nope.
In 2027, kama Ruto ata walete, and Ruto is not going to bring them because I'm sure, as much as we hate Ruto is very intelligent because he's a Moi school of thought person.
He's a smart politician.
Yeah, and I am also from that school. So yes. I know Ruto is more intelligent because he knows these people are playing cards, joke. They are playing at his disposal. He has the intelligence. He has the mechanism. How do you tell your enemy that I'm going to kill you? So you kill him first and then tell people, nilimaliza And that's what these jokers are doing. I look at them and sympathize. Munaenda kupiga makelele kila siku. Na maybe serikali, all Ruto needs to do is to pull a string from the anti-corruption. Unapelekwa kotini kwa ile mali umeiba. Who among these people is clean?
None of them is clean.
So what are they telling us? Niende nikae chini nao nifanye nini? The Roots Party suggestion was very simple. Now that Raila has left us, he has joined the government, if you're making this opposition, my party stand is, let's sit as political parties and then come up with our blueprint. Contribute towards the secretariat. Let's have experts look into this paper. Let's discuss it with wananchi. That is what wananchi wants to hear. Kuna bei imeenda juu ya hii na hii na hii. Lakini nyinyi sasa mmeanda another dichotomy. Huyu Ruto ni mbaya sana. Huyu Ruto. So when I saw that they were going individualistic, na tumbocrats, niliwaambia nini? That's why even when they are mentioning their things, they can't mention me except for Kalonzo. When I call Kalonzo picks my son and my phone. I invited him and I invited all of them for NDC in a hotel. What was the name of the hotel? Tamarind Tree. I have letters, but only Kalonzo gave me an excuse because he was going somewhere, but he sent his son who is a member of parliament. Natembeya never showed up, yet he calls himself a Luya king. Mudavadi never showed up. Wetangula never showed up, even with the excuses. Eugene Wamalwa never showed up. The governors that I invited, only one sent apologies because they saw that if they are associated with me, they will be branded to get their hands in State House. And most of these fellows I'm mentioning, they have access to State House, have raw intelligence. Huku nje wanatudanganya, lakini wako State House. They are looking for favors. Better me who is straight with the public. Let me make things straight. Let Kenyans listen to me.
Yeah.
Let me have a conversation with them. They vote for me, well and good. They don't vote for me, I lose nothing. Because you can see, I have an industry in my head which cannot be quantified in terms of wealth. I have knowledge. This knowledge is much more needed outside this country than in this country. What you call brain gain and brain drain. In America, if I go today, I can get any CEO post. There's a time I was a CEO of a multinational corporation in California, a company that had gone down. I raised it up, but I employed all Kenyans who are within the scene. And the company is ongoing. Dicky Ngunjiri from Nakuru was one of the people that I employed. But on the other hand, I brought back that brain here. They don't want it. But Nigerians are telling me, Prof, just tell us, we shall send you a private jet to come and pick you, because I'm also an expert in oil, gas, and petroleum. So they're saying, come and work for us. In Botswana, the current Botswana system and Malawian system, they are waiting for me just to say, yes, I'm coming. But here, I'm the enemy number one. I'm a madman.
You're a madman. And they keep putting that in media. He's a madman.
I'm a madman. But I'm more learned than them. I'm dined and wined by scholars. I've written a book.
Yes, sir. Legality in illegality. Is this your first published book?
I have several.
Okay. So this is the latest.
And this is my latest PhD. And when this book came on publication, the publisher's website ilifunga because of the demand. And now I went to launch it in North Carolina the other day, and it's already oversold. Congress has asked me to go and brief them. Congressional Committee on Immigration in the US.
Yeah.
I've also been invited to UK by Kenyans and whatever. Those whom I taught in law school and what have you. But in Kenya here, if you can't join them to play their tune, you become a madman.
Yes.
When I ran for president, we were 54 candidates. Nilienda hapo akasema wazimu pia amekuja. But Mungu naye ni nani? I was on the ballot, wasn't I? I got 2.8 million votes. Wakaiba mpaka akashindwa. Raila aliiba mingi because I didn't have agents. Ruto naye aliiba tu. Lakini they stole until there was nothing more to steal.
Until it was like 60-something.
Yeah. Do you think I got 60-something votes? If Kiambu County alone gave me 108,000 votes. If Ogembo police where I went to Ochoi, huyu msukisia anaongea mingi, nilienda kwa mazishi ya babake. The returning officer in Ogembo police polling station, aliamuka akasema, mimi ndio nilikuwa returning officer. Huyu jamaa alipata 272 votes, Ruto alipata 267, Raila alipata 15. That's a police polling station. I've never been there. So right now, because they see that I'm coming and I have people with me, the good part of it is I never bribe anybody. I don't have bodyguards. People like me by seeing me with what I say. That's why this united opposition Raila alipoenda wakasema huyu Wajackoyah tukiwacha hapa atatuharibia. Because tukienda mahali ni mimi naimbwa, sio hao. They are just opportunists. And I'm not working with them unless they agree to terms of Roots Party. Roots Party belongs to the people of this country, to this generation ya bangi, watu wa mkokoteni, watu wa namna hii, mapimp. Hiyo yote ni timu yangu, watafanyaje? Trust me. Ukienda hapo majei, majengo, waambie wale wa mama ati nini, watakwambia pana, sisi ni Roots. Because I visit those areas. I give them what I have. Napiga story nao, wananipigia story leo nimepata wanaume 3, niko namna hii na wampatia pesa aende hospitali. What's wrong with that? That's the rejected community. Watoto wadogo ambao wako kwa matatus. Some of them are graduates. They are being told to go and beba matafari kwa affordable housing. Wewe umesoma huko na BA. Gachagua when he was deputy president alikuwa anaambia hao waende wabebe matafari, na watoto wake wako wapi? Business, hotel owners. Watoto wa Ruto wako wapi? Nganya owners. Alafu let's face a spade, call a spade a spade. Na tuambie hawa jamaa, it's time for the younger generation. It's time for change. If you look at the people who are in the neck in Roots Party, you'll be surprised. Mimi ni mzee kabisa, lakini akili yangu bado namna hiyo, because at least I can resonate with the people. But if my guys say, look, Wajackoyah, step aside, take over. Yeah, I'm grooming my Secretary General to take over from me. And it's a known fact. He's a young man, he's industrious. I was with him in law school. He's running for the Senate in Nairobi. And when I took him, I said, I know you. I know what you stand for. I know your late father. I know your mom. I know your family. When you went to be sworn in, you used my gown. Be my Secretary General. Let me groom you. If Kenyans will accept you in future, take over from Wajackoyah. The party is there.
Yeah.
Can those leaders stand like that and tell you? Wanapigana mpaka hata ukiingia ODM saizi, sijui utaenda wapi. Ukiingia UDA, kuna wale vifaranga wanakupimia hapo tu, unapimwa mpaka unaanza kupeana pesa ndio ufike huko juu. Roots Party come in. A young doctor came in yesterday from Naivasha. He just loved our philosophy. Alikuja, akaingia chama, is running for Suba North. Suba North. People like you, when you come and you want to run, you are welcome. Because this is the only opportunity you have. Ukileta hawa wazee wakirudi, my friend, they will replace themselves with their children.
Always.
Tumeona sasa wa Mudavadi anasimama Westlands. Wawetangula sijui anasimama wapi. Then it becomes that cycle, so that we become slaves of these people. Na ukiwaona watu ambao wamekuwa nominated kwa hizo parties kina mama, hebu niwaambie, kazi yake ni kusemanga tu Wetangula amesema nini, kama amesema ni mzuri weka tick. Mine
complete puppets.
Vibrant young women, I don't even know some of them. Ni kama wale wameingia Linda Mwananchi. Young, vibrant, focused, and that's why I'm supporting Linda Mwananchi, because we share the same sentiment. At least somebody like Caleb Amis, the other day took me to campaign for his candidate in Kinangop. And the jubilation that was there. Now Caleb has taken me there. They are now fighting him. Why did you take Wajackoyah? Manake nawaribia unga. Lakini wajue, 2027, I'll defeat all of them.
You are still here.
Man. Wacha Gachagua pange mpango yake ya kuleta sijui nani. How is Kalonzo going to remain out of the equation? At sasa wamechagua nani? How is Sifuna going to remain out of the equation?
Especially Sifuna. You're not going to leave Sifuna.
Yes,
out of this.
Yes.
The people will tell you.
The people will tear you into pieces. Aya, sijui unasema sijui nani mwingine. Wacha wapigane huko. Tutakutana kwa debe. Wajackoyah is not changing. I'm not joining anybody. And that's why we are no term.
Please tell me more a bit about the book. So I really like this, The Color of Suspicion.
Yeah. Just finish the following sentence.
Race policing and immigration enforcement in the United States of America. This is a big conversation, especially for the Black community.
Yes. I'll give you the synopsis of this book.
Yes.
In 1996, the United States government passed legislation. And the orthodox of that legislation was, according to my forwarder, Professor Makao Mutua, Sunny Distinguished Professor, Margaret W. Wong Professor, and former Dean of Law School in Buffalo University, of which invited me. In his cover, he says, reasonable suspicion and racial profiling takes as its point of analysis of Section 287G of the Immigration and Nationality Act. That section, written in 1996, authorizes the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, IC, to delegate and empower state and local authorities to enforce immigration law, previously mostly excluded for federal function. Now, what happened is Congress came up with legislation. This legislation took away powers through the Attorney General by making the Attorney General of the United States to enter into agreement with states to create bills to enforce immigration. Previously, immigration was a prerogative of federal government and federal authority, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which was anchored in the United States Constitution, policed by Congress and the Supreme Court. Now, when the Attorney General, I will give you an example of Senate Bill 1070, which was introduced in the State Senate of Arizona, where Joe Arpaio, as you can see in the other picture, was the sheriff of Maricopa County. This legislation was passed to enforce the requirements of 1996 ILRA Act, as they call it, whereby now all employers in the county of Maricopa were supposed to furnish the state government of Arizona with a list of employers and employees. The police officers were required to stop immigrants and ask them for papers. What did that do? It enroded in the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. I had that Constitution here, I could read for you.
Yeah.
The Fourth Amendment says that you cannot stop.
That's the size of the U.S. Constitution?
It's the U.S. Constitution. Look, it's only 8 pages. The Fourth Amendment says that no citizen of the United States can be stopped by any government agency, government enforcement agencies. Look for me the Fourth Amendment. I want to read it in its entirety. They cannot stop.
Just give it to him then.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah, just has it.
Yeah,
just give it to Prof.
Let me read it, yeah. Thank you very much. The Fourth Amendment is a core component of the U.S. Constitution's Bill of Rights that protects individuals from unreasonable government searches and seizures. It mandates that any government search of a person, home, papers, or effects must be authorized by a judge and justified by a probable cause. What does that mean? It means that if an officer stops somebody, he must have reasonable suspicion. How does reasonable suspicion comes in? It's in the plain view of the law that if you pass a traffic light, a red traffic light, that amounts to reasonable suspicion for a police officer to stop you. If you are walking in a zigzag way with a gun or something that looks like a gun, the police officer will stop you because he has reason to believe that you are carrying a gun, and then he can search you. In the absence of that, nobody can do that. And that's the prerequisite of the United States federal government. Now, these powers had now been deployed to the state government to take over from
the federal government.
And that in itself now led the police to make raids in ethnic minority immigrants places, and it caused mayhem.
Like what ICE is doing now even.
Yes. And then also, the police could arrest anybody and ask him, show me your papers, which was beyond reasonable suspicion. So that data was compiled by the police and handed over to the federal authorities, whereby now you are detained without any justification. Now, also in court, they changed the oath of affirmation. If you are arrested and you are taken to any court in the United States today, they will read for you the oath. They will say, that this is the United States government, and this is the federal court, this is blah, blah court. If you are a US citizen, wanakata hapa alafu wanasema, and if you are not, you're not expected to get bail. So I was looking into that perimeter to find out whether that in itself was a precursor of racial profiling in Maricopa State. I did research for 6.5 years because of, given the fact that we had COVID and what have you.
Yeah.
And once I finished that research, I defended my thesis. But before I defended my thesis, there are many cases that went to the Supreme Court to decide on whether Congress abdicated its constitutional duty by actually assigning its powers to state authorities. The defense from Congress was, from the Supreme Court defending Congress was that Congress are allowed, because they have plenary power, which is non-justiciable. What is plenary power? Plenary power could only be discussed within the whims of situation to situation. It's a gray area which the courts cannot enter because it's non-justiciable. Therefore, the court sided with Congress. But when Obama came in, for example, there are so many litigation. The Supreme Court ruled some of those clauses that have been introduced in some of those states like Tennessee, Alabama, and Arizona to be unconstitutional. But they gave a framework. They left the states now to deal with the foreigners because of public interest, which overweighed immigrants' considerations.
Yeah.
So I came out with that. Getting population study was a very big blow to me because nobody wanted to give me consent to interview. So I had to go through sheriff. You can see his picture is there, the sheriff of Arizona. I had to visit various, and it took me 2 years just to collect data, to analyze. So now, the university took it, sent this paper to Congressional Committee, just for, by the way, Congressional Committee on Immigration. And when they went through it, they actually wrote me a letter, which is here, that they have decided to archive it in the United States Congressional Library as a source of law when they are dealing with immigration laws of the US. So I've become a world leading authority on this.
Oh, wow.
And this is my 5th degree on immigration out of my 17 degrees.
Wow. Prof, is there a specific reason why you wanted to have those many degrees?
Yes. Because when I was born poor. I was born in poverty. I was denied my rights. The government had a duty to take me to school. They failed.
Yeah.
I went into exile. I became a grave digger. I went to law school, after law school, and credit should be given to James Orengo, who by then was the lawyer for Julie Ward, who had been killed here. And courtesy of James, he was able to smuggle my papers to allow me to be enrolled at the university in the UK. And I've gone to very fine universities there. I've gone to some of the top universities in the world. So justification was that I was denied these rights. I'm digging graves. I'm a pimp. I clean buses. I drive these red buses in London. Let me just remain in school as a hobby. Because my accent also betrayed me. Then later on, I started my law practice in London, went into politics. I could have been the first Kenyan elected MP in Britain because I was just there. Had I not failed in the primaries, I had edged out David Lamy. And then I sponsored lots of Kenyans into local assembly. There's Geoffrey Macharia, who went for Westminster seat. He was number 2, but he went with the Conservative Party. Labour Party edged him out. We have this lady who is now a mayor, this Kikuyu lady who is a mayor in London. Some of these people are walking into my footprints towards UK Parliament. And I have very strong connection in the UK political system. Very strong. When I say strong, I mean it. Yeah, I'm very deeply connected because they look at my records and what I was able to do. And some of them say, like, if this guy was here, I could have been a very good member of parliament. Probably I could have been a cabinet secretary there or a minister, but God knows. So when I came here, now this place, they're looking at me as a reject, as a bank smoker,
As a madman.
As a madman. But they have done that to people like Foucault, Socrates, people who have this caricature kind of behavior are never accepted.
You said you want to study medicine now. You want to enroll for medicine.
I'm trying to enroll for medicine in one of the universities where my daughter is studying medicine, my last born in UK. And if I get through, then I'll have to look for funding to go in for 6-7 years. Yeah.
Oh man, Prof, thank you so much for making time. It's been very much fun speaking to you. First of many, it's impossible to cover everything. I hope the next time when I reach out, you'll be available again for a conversation. All the best with your bid. Definitely looking forward to the new manifesto, like you said, you consult. And maybe lastly, if there's someone who's watching this and they're probably going to vote for the first time, what do you want to tell them?
The best thing that I can tell these Kenyans is that we are going to restructure Kenya as it is into 8 regions. And creating
the same old 8 provinces?
Yes.
Okay.
Where we shall have state governments with state prime ministers. And then we shall have counties to remain within the state. For example, now if you have a county like Narok produces wheat, meat, milk, hides and skins, tourism, and also is a water catchment. So let the Narok County Assembly decide on the revenues that have been accrued. And then let them apportion revenues subject to the county assembly approval to prioritize projects like schools, infrastructure, and what have you. Part of that revenue, they can vote to send it to the state government in Nakuru, where the state parliament now will look at how much has been aggregated by all counties within the state. Then they can come up with a structure. For example, now, if we have national highways, roads passing through those states, they must be measured on specifications with the targets from the national government so that you have uniformities in highways and freeways. And then we can also have proper devolution of social amenities. For example, the police. We don't need the police to be trained from Kiganjo alone. Kiganjo should remain a national police college, but states should also have their own police system, police colleges to train police to run as state police, counties to train police in those states to run as a county police, so that police officers can serve in their area first and foremost, then upgrade to the state, and those who want to go to national government can also go to national government after serving. That will will make services available to the people, market-friendly, police mwananchi kind of, like they have done in America and like it's done in Europe. But right now, and then we can also find out which states produces what. For example, we intend to move the city of Nairobi, capital city, to Isiolo because of proximity to the northern, south, east-west corridors, Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan, Somalia, along, so that we can actually have produce from those areas, both nomadic produce and agricultural produce from the mountain, to be shipped straight away to the airport in Isiolo, to the ready markets. And then if you plan Isiolo very well, plan the infrastructure, devolve parliament and Senate to a place like Nakuru, and then leave Nairobi as a business city, then we shall be planning it in such a way that so that we can come in tandem with what's happening in other countries. Dar es Salaam was sinking the other day. The government, muungano wa Tanzania, walijenga Dodoma. Nigeria moved their capital city to Abuja and left Lagos as a financial district.
Even so, I think South Africa as well, Pretoria is the administrative capital.
Yes. Yeah. So by so doing that, we shall actually bring services to the people. We shall have devolution back in the hands of people. We also intend to reintroduce mayors and municipalities so that we can have that kind of rigidity on. But this issue of members of parliament having CDF, I think that is the one I will ban in my first month in office, and it's illegal even in the current on paper in the current constitution. Yes, that should be taken to MCS and to the governor's office. and the county offices. But you see, MPs today have become rich overnight. Of course, they will have to account in Wajackoyah's government. You find members of parliament and the MCAs building structures like border structures. Alafu wanaweka jinao. Produced by, funded by. Unaona basi imeandikwa.
Donated by.
Yeah. Basi ya serikali, pesa ya wanaraia has been individualized. So those things will be a thing of the past. And I'm also asking Kenyans to enroll in big numbers. But to be very careful kwa hii opposition and also the government. Do you want to replace the government with the same people? What difference will it make? 1 term, 2 term, what is that nonsense? Kujeni no term, so that we look into issues. We look into what we can do for Kenyans. Let's do it together. Because me, I have nothing to lose. I'm educated. I've been around the world. I have children. I've come back to join our people to see what we can do for ourselves. Look at matatu industry. It's not regulated. Look at Nairobi, borders. They bring in an income of almost 2 billion a year, but they are not regulated properly. They are not given incentives to make it an industry which becomes attractive, which will become attractive even to people who want to do business. Markets are being built left and center. You build markets everywhere. And that's what Ruto is telling him. But I don't know whether Ruto is the one who is a precursor of those markets, because who is supplying those markets with cement, with steel? Ruto will also be accountable to all these things. A crime never rots. If you are the president, talk to the people and do the right thing. Ruto still has an opportunity of reorganizing the country. And we work as a team. I don't hate Ruto. What wrong has he done to me? I don't hate Gachagua. But Ruto has done wrong because we want to know how many kids were killed, how many people are losing businesses, why tourists are now paying more money to enter the park, where Uganda has reduced that levy, why hotel industries are being taxed triple, why taxation has become the main and you are not seeing accountability, why they are flouting out with gasoline vehicles, why the appointments are too many, yet the resources are few. Why is he overborrowing? Why is he relying on other countries, yet Kenya has enough that can cater for this country? And with those few words, I would like to sign this book for you.
Please.
Can I sign that or this one?
Whichever.
Yeah.
Is that signed to anyone?
No, it's not signed.
Let's sign that.
Yeah. So let me have your names.
Chaxy.
Tafuta kalamu bwana. Hizi zangu za manyoya zinaandikanga wakati nimeweka kwa maji ya bangi.
Oh, maji ya bangi. I think there's a pen there. There's more here as well.
Oh, those ones, just... No. Rudisha tu.
Hizo zimesema zinataka maji ya bangi ndio ziandike.
Hizo ziko na mambo yake.
Yeah.
Rudisha hiyo. Yeah.
So Chaxy Chaxy. Chaxy. Then Chacha.
Are you from Korea?
I'm Korea.
Do you know the Korean people are mad with me? Have you seen Wajackoyah pub in Kehanja?
Yes.
That guy just put up a pub for me, and when I went to open it, by the way, the majority of Koreans are in Roots Party, because I'm going to make them have it easy when they are harvesting their thing and exporting.
Yes.
And I'll have a factory in Korea.
You know, each time I say a cow was intercepted, sijui na wendo, sijui rongo, sijui wape, you know hiyo ni ya Korea tu.
Na mimi napenda wa Korea because wakiiba hizo ng'ombe. It will also be... If you don't chunga ng'ombe na mtu anakuibia, ni shauri yako. Legalize that.
Yeah,
it's a revenue. Hey, my man.
Yes.
You've done well, man. Nilipata mdemu huko Korea bwana, akanifanya kichwa ikakimbia bwana. Alikuwa mweupe kama pamba.
Kitambo.
Hey, man.
Hapo na Kiswahili cha Tanzania hapo. Ni shikamoo.
Si ndio hiyo, na mwenyewe huwa anaongea Kiswahili cha Tanga. Sasa tulipopatana pale bwana. Nilikataa kurudi huko.
Yeah, that's home, man. That's where
wow.
I was born there, spent the first 8 years of my life there. Then moved to Migori, moved to Kisii. Then I came to Nairobi after high school for university.
I'll support you where I can.
Thank
I will support you.
Appreciate you, man.
Have you been outside the country?
I've been outside the country.
Where?
I used to work for Red Bull, the energy drink, multinational. So travel quite a lot with that. UAE, of course, within Africa, kidogo. Going to Europe for the first time in 3 weeks. Yeah, in 3 weeks.
Stay closer to me. I'll open your ways.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm not an easy I'm no easy person to push around.
Yes,
Stay
I can
closer.
tell.
If the opportunities come out, why not? Like my guy here, he used just to do me stuff. And later on when he came, I said, why not? So now we are working with him. A very difficult journey, but I think we shall reach there. We shall. And I'm sure the presidency, when is today?
It's 10th of June.
10th of June.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm glad.
This was fun. I don't know how long have you been?
Have you even appeared in all this before?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, digest. You're a young man.
Yeah?
You are
No,
young
it was
man.
just last year. I'm 66, but on books, I'm 13.
All right, thank you so much, Prof.
Okay.
Yeah, see you soon. Have a good one.
Thank you.
That was fun. I had fun.